thinking about the way I was. Did the heartbreak change me? Maybe, but look at where I ended up. I'm all good already, so moved on, it's scary. I'm not where you left me at all. So, if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you wanna believe that anything could stop me, don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't start caring about me now. Aren't you the guy who tried to hurt me with the word goodbye? Though it took some time to survive you, I'm better on the other side. I'm all good already, so moved on, it's scary. I'm not where you left me at all. So, if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you wanna believe that anything could stop me, don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't start caring about me now. Don't stop now.
Oh my God, third stream of the day, and I'm early.
I'm not where you left me.
Who is she?
If you don't wanna see me,
I've been sitting at my computer for like 12 hours straight. Oh, what is happening? Are you on coke? Wait, who was the chatter yesterday last night who kept asking Will if he was on coke, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm just messing around." Girl, you've been live all day. Well, okay. I was sitting here. So Will was about to leave for the podcast. I was like, fuck that. I said, Cutie's still live. Hassan is in the middle of something. Go, you are going to be sitting there for half an hour. Let's do a fucking night rain run right now. And he went, I said, I am telling you, you will not record until 7. Let's go. So we did a run. We lost. We lost. And then he went to the podcast. So when he comes back tonight, here's my plan. How is anyone supposed to get any work done here with all these streams going on? I know. What's my problem? So I was sitting at my computer after I finished, and I went, oh my God, we haven't finished Fahrenheit 9/11. And I also never finished the Renee Rapp and Z-Way interview. And y'all know me. I'll be like, yeah, we're going to come back to this. And then 2 years will go by. So I was like, okay, maybe I just go live right now, because when Will gets home from the podcast, I'm going to want to run Night Rain back. So I went, I have a couple hours until he's done with the pod. So, hey, Caroline, not to be sexist or anything, but you guys did a really good job at the show today. Thank you so much, Lizard Shadow Government. I love how we have chatters who do specific things now. Chukis comes in, needs permission to hit the bong. Lizard Shadow comes in and says, no offense, but you did a great job today. Oh, wait, no, this stream is definitely not presented by Progressive. Let me take that off. Hold on a second. Not Progressive. Okay, well, it's too late. My go live notification went out. Oopsie. And out. This stream is sponsored by Regressive. Katie Ellis, thank you for the 26 months. Panquake, thank you for the 5 months. No, we are no longer Progressive here. No, I'm so sorry. Third stream of the day. Nah. I gotta cross the spectrum, you know? Plus, you guys, I have a great idea. Okay, you know how we've been talking about me running for Congress? Running for office? Well, guess what? Bill Ackman, billionaire Bill Ackman, is saying that there are hundreds of millions of dollars available to back a challenger to Zohran Mamdani. I mean, is this not my potential in? Hi. I don't know if you know me, but my name is Carolyn, and I believe in freedom. I believe in the United States of freedom. So I will take all your money, please. Wouldn't that be a great gambit, though? If I'm like, look, I am the one to challenge him, and then I take all of Bill Ackman's money. And then I go, bloop. Sorry, I thought that this was just how we were doing politics these days. I'm on the debate stage, and I'm like, yes, I should be the next mayor of New York. Because look at this jazz square. Yeah, I take all the money and then cross endorse. See? I mean, come on. I will send an email, and I'll send a picture of me in my American flag blazer, and I'll convince them to throw their money behind me, and then I'll be like, hee-haw. With these 3 streams, you're almost at a full Hassan stream. Yeah. See, I have to break it up into 3 streams. Okay. I cannot stream 10 hours straight. Cassidy, thank you for the prime. Okay. So that's my plan is we will finish Fahrenheit 9/11, which it was like hard. Okay. Because we started it and then the ceasefire. We'll see. The ceasefire happened, so I was like, okay, that's good. Donald Trump dropping F-bombs, and then Zohran won, and I was like, well, I don't really want to watch this right now with the vibes being, like, exciting, you know? But I do want to finish it. I will let you use my NYC address. Thank you. Thank you very kindly. Thank you kindly. Did Fashan call you about Anna Wintour today? So I have spoken to Fashan, and as predicted, she spent the first 5 minutes just laughing. I was on the phone with her, and she was just laughing for 5 minutes straight, like, ha, 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 ha. And then she hinted, but then was like, I'm not saying anything, but also she was very clearly saying that she definitely had something to do with it. But she said that if Vogue wants her, that they know where she is. They know where Fashan is. Pesky BMB, thank you for the tier 1. Thank you for the level 2 Quantrain. No, I know Anna is still part of Vogue. She's just stepping down as the editor-in-chief. For now, she's a part of Vogue. For now. We'll see. We'll see. Can we take over the K-Hive group name when you run? Yeah, this is the new K-Hive. I thought she died the way you're speaking of it. No, she's not dead yet. No, that old bat is still alive. No, that old bat and her fuck-ass Bob are still going. Keep up the amazing work. Lots of love from Australia. Lots of love back to you, mate. Pesky B, mate. Hope all is good down under. I know you have, what's his name? That one weirdo on Twitter who lives in Australia and is always tweeting about American politics. So, sorry you got to deal with that guy. Yo, Kwanzis. Caroline, what stuff you got planned? Well, the stuff I got planned is we're going to finish Fahrenheit 9/11, which is not fun, but I just like have to finish it. I got to finish it. And then we're going to finish the Renee Rapp interview, and then maybe by then Will be back. And we can do some Night Rain, And then I'm getting the hell out of here. And then I will finally be done. And then my work here will be done. You mean Carter? Yeah, that's the guy I'm talking about. That fucking guy. Oh, that's who Australia's got to deal with. Anyway, how's everybody doing? I have seen some of you now 3 times today. Can you do the Renee interview first? We can do the Renee interview first, since vibes are good. Since vibes are high, we can start off with that. Plus, there's like 10 minutes of it left. Hardly anything. I took a nice hour walk. Nice. I just took Farley for a walk. I always feel so guilty every time I take him for a walk because he's just so happy. He's so happy. Flip back and forth between the video and film. You know what? That's a great idea. We're going to go back and forth between the Renee Rapp and Z-Way interview and then Michael Moore's Fahrenheit 9/11. We'll just kind of... We'll flip, floppy, flop. Play LA Noire in the corner of the screen during the film like Subway Surfers. No, guys, I don't want to, you know. We got the copyright cops out here. I bought a double kick pedal for my drum kit today. Nice. Excellent. Having my post-workout dinner right now. Okay, workout. Okay. Some of you work out. I thought this was Farley at first. What did he do? Hollywood's finest red. Wait, let me see.
There are only 36 affordable and available homes. As a result, we have plenty
What is
of
that
housing for the
noise?
rich, but poor and working class people.
Check 1 2. Wait. Check 1 2.
Uh-oh,
Is this
where's
working?
that coming from?
Is that
Oh,
audio?
that's Cinemarxism's voice. I was like, what's that? Oh no. If you were to see the amount of windows and tabs that I have, it might be the worst it's ever been. Speed Reza, thank you for the 3 gifted subs.
Gunna can't get none, but don't let it be a black and a white one, 'cause they'll slam you down to the street top.
Yeah, that's Farley's vibe. That's right.
Ice Cube will swarm on any motherfucker in a blue uniform. Just 'cause I'm from the CPT, pump police are afraid of me, huh? A young nigga on the warpath, and when I finish, it's gonna be a bloodbath of cops dying in LA. Yo, Dre, I got something to say.
Yo, they're lucky he's on a leash. Farley has definitely barked at the police before. I was like, that's my baby. That's my baby. If anyone needed proof that you're an extrovert, they simply need to compare you from the beginning of your first stream to now. This morning, okay, sometimes whenever I do morning streams, I never slept enough, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know, I'm on. This morning, I was not on. I finished stream and went into my tech check and I was like, what did I even say on that stream? What were even the words that came out of my mouth? But while we were doing next, I drank a fucking Celsius. I was sitting there like just tapping my foot up and down like this. I felt cracked out. I felt fucking cracked out, man. I felt cracked out, man. It's also a lot higher than usual for now. Yeah, because I'm cracked out on Celsius. Ugh, Hogan, thank you for the gifted sub. I know, I'm vibrating right now. Since you haven't played a gay game for Pride Month yet, you should play this. Is Bayonetta gay? Wait, Bayonetta's a lesbian? She's so gay? I don't know anything about her. Huh, okay. Oh my gosh, Hannah.
The government has organized a
Oh my god, your baby is so cute.
weather and strong earthquakes occurring throughout the region.
Wait, it's giving Gayonetta. It is giving Gayonetta.
Determine the source of these phenomena as citizens nervously clamor for answers. Our special
Oh no, is she Bayonetta? Oh no. Oh no, did we just do bi erasure? Is she Bayonetta?
report on the regional disasters Nature Unleashed continues after these messages.
Wait, she's bi in 3? Wait, so she's just a lesbian in 1 and 2, and then she's bi in 3? We don't talk about 3 though. We don't talk about 3. Oh my god, Hannah, I cannot get over how perfect your puppy is. She's so cute. 3 is not canon, okay? All right. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Will kept saying gay. Will was saying bi eraser on the show today as well, and I don't know if he is doing that on purpose. Sometimes he'll say words that I think he is saying non-ironically, and I just let him, you know? Yeah, he kept saying this today too.
About a 4-day timeline right now.
I'm sorry, Crub. I didn't know you wanted me to ask.
You did some bi eraser there.
Breaking news.
Because
Austin
here's the thing.
show. He just said you did some bi eraser there because Will has dyslexia, okay? And there are certain words that he just cannot pronounce. So for example, drowning, he pronounces drowning. He says drowning. Speed Racer, thank you for another 3 gifted subs. I cannot get him to pronounce the word correctly. So just like Sam. Sam also, I didn't know more people pronounce. And do you know who's also said that too? Cutie. Cutie has also said drowning. I'm like, what is happening? Be nice to him. They're ESL. They're ESL, okay? Hey. That's the tool that they use to erase us. They use a bi eraser to do bi erasure. That's what they use. Cutie is also dyslexic. Yes. So Sam, Cutie, Will, Orlando Bloom got a lot of dyslexics in my orbit. Okay, Orlando Bloom is not in my orbit, but I just know he's dyslexic as well. Can dyslexia impact how people pronounce things? Or is he just special? Yes, it can. It absolutely can. It can affect how you spell, how you speak, straight up. What about you? No. And I was also the regional spelling bee champion when I was in elementary school. So put some respect on it, please. Mr. Bloom is back on the market. That's right. You know who he was seen chatting with? He was seen chatting it up with Chloe K. Chloe and Kim K. Yep. Orlando Bloom. Orlando Bloom is getting in with the Kardashians. Okay, then spell chrysanthemum. There you go. Chrysanthemum. Can I use that in a sentence, please? You guys, do you want to know the worst thing ever one time? So this is when I was competing in a spelling bee in like 1st grade. And it was down to me and the final girl. And this was to go to state. So this was this was to go to state. And the girls like she spelled her word incorrectly. No, how did it happen? I don't know how. Wait, okay. I'm trying to remember how this all went down. But basically, I got up. It was just the two of us. I was given my word to spell, and I was like, oh my God, I know this one. I was like, this is so easy. Blasted through that word. Like I just was so excited. And they announced me as the winner. Is state further than regionals? Yes. Regionals, state, nationals. They announced me as the winner, and the whole stadium exploded in applause. And my parents got up. Everyone was cheering for me. And then suddenly this one woman's voice rings out, and she goes, "She missed a letter." And it turned out to be the mom of the girl who I was in, the final two against. And this woman had recorded it. Yeah. This woman, and everyone was like, what? And she goes, "She missed a letter." And there was just a, and she played back her recording. And the truth is I did miss a letter. And so the judges were like, oh my God, they took back the congratulations, the win was taken back from me. And then her daughter was given the chance to spell whatever word, and she got it, and she won. And she went on to state. She had the fucking VOD. Yeah. She clipped your ass in context. She did. I mean, honestly, I did spell the word wrong. But she just did not want to see a queen win. And that is my villain origin story. Yeah. She did not want to see a queen win. You don't get another chance, though. I can't remember what it was. I don't know why. Basically, I had the chance to spell, and if I had gotten it right, then I would have won. But then she had a chance, and then, because, I didn't have another word after that. Look, this was a long fucking time ago, but that's what I remember. I just remember her being like, "She spelled it wrong." And then there was a, and then she pulled out the recorder and she played it back. Yeah. Caroline was one of those beers who asked, could you use it in a sentence? Can I have the root of the language or origin of the word, please? Can you use that in another sentence, please? You must have hated her with a fiery passion. I bawled, man. I bawled my eyes out. I used to, to train me for spelling bees, my cousin would come down, and when he would just come live with us because he was unemployed and he was in his 20s. So this is when we were living in Iowa, and he would come live with us, and we would practice at the breakfast table. He would pull open the dictionary and just fire off words for me. I was very into words. I really loved spelling. I really loved words. I really loved spelling. I would always walk up to someone and be like, ask me to spell this word. I remember obsessing over the word archaeology. Oh, I just loved that word. And then I would be so obsessed with a word that I would then say that that's what I wanted to do. That's the job that I wanted, is I would just become obsessed with a word. Archaeology, ARCHAEOLOGY. I was not an annoying child at all. Where in the rules did they allow for video review? It wasn't even video. She just started playing the recorder. I want Will's childhood and your childhood described side by side. I feel like they couldn't be more different. We could not have had more opposite upbringings. I went to public school. He was a private school kid. I loved words. He hated words. I was a little Asian girl. He was a little white boy. He was the boy. I was a girl. Can I make it any more obvious? He was not a skater boy, but I would have said, see you later, boy. I was in Iowa. He was in Jersey. You got one shot, one opportunity to spell every word you ever wanted, and I fucking blew it. Can you spell the name of the Hawaiian state fish? Wait, what's the Hawaiian state fish? I don't even know what it is. Third stream of the day. Hell yeah. Wait, what? Nukan Quapwa. Nukunu Quapwa. Oh, goodness. Huh? I mean, honestly, I feel like if you can just, okay. So, hum you. Okay. Okay. Hamu. Nukun. Okay. Humu. Oh, fuck. Okay, wait. Nukunuapu. It's this part. Nukunu. Nukunu kuapua. Nukunu kuapua. Nukunu kuapua. Humu. Nukumu. Nuku. Is that right? No. Nukunu. Okay. Oh my god. Nuku. Apua. Yeah. Okay. That's how you gotta break it down. Humu. Nuku. Yeah. Nuku. Apua. Okay. Humu. Nuku. Apua. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right, we got it. We got it. I can't even read it. Fuck speaking it. Imagine spelling
Now
that.
today we had a big contrast in temperature across the UK, just 12 degrees over coastal parts of eastern England with cloudy skies, but in the sunshine in northwest Wales at RAF Mona, just up the road from Llanfair Pwllgwyn, Gellgo Quindrobwll, Llantysilio Gogogoch, the temperature got to 21.
Holy shit! His power level!
In northwest Wales at RAF Mona, just up the road from Llanfair Pwllgwyn, Gellgo Quindrobwll, Llantysilio Gogogoch, the temperature got to 21 Celsius.
There may be like 3 people in the world who can pronounce that. Connor VA is Welsh and he can say that town name. Okay, Connor VA is one of. Oh my god. I don't even know how to break that. Everyone in Wales can?
Just up the road from Llanfair Pwllgwyn, Gellgo Quindrobwll, Llantysilio Gogogoch, the temperature.
And they all live there. Wait, I don't even know. Hold on. Let me slow this down.
The road from Llanfair Pwllgwyn, Gellgo Quindrobwll, Llantysilio Gogogoch, the temperature.
Bro, you look at that. Look at his face. Look at his face. He's like, hell yeah, that's right. That's right. I fucking pronounced that. Welsh is not a real language. Oh my god. Holy moly. Can Catherine Zeta-Jones say it? I know. I want to know as well. Can CZJ pronounce this?
Just up the road from Llanfair Pwllgwyn, Gellgo Quindrobwll, Llantysilio Gogogoch, the
I'm not even going to... I'm not even going to try. I am not even going to try to pronounce that. Khan, as I immediately do. Khanwa. I mean, the ending I can do go. Go. Llanfair Pwllgwyn, Llantysilio Gogogoch. The double L's of flam. Oh my.
Like in the small towns in like Wales and stuff, there's some really fun pubs because it's just like 20
Yeah,
people.
but I'm not going to go to Wales.
No,
to
you're
go to
not.
a pub.
No. There's no reason to go to Wales, Jerry. There's not much to
I want to
do.
go to that fucking lake that has the longest name in the world.
Oh no, that's not a lake. That's a town.
Oh, it's a town.
Yeah, and it's.
I like that it's the picture of that guy.
is the town name.
You
Joey.
could
How
have
dare you not
completely.
know that?
Honestly, you could have completely made that up.
Town.
Oh, it's a town.
Yeah, and it's Llanfair is the town name. Joey.
No, man, what? Man, what? You know what? Here's how we're going to decide who can be president. You can be president if you can pronounce this.
How dare you not
Completely.
know that?
Honestly, you could have completely made that up and I'll be like, yes.
Is that
Yes,
true?
that
Did
is
I
right.
do it correct?
Oh, can you pronounce Llanfair Pwllgwyngyll?
Oh gosh, Llanfair, Pwllgwyngyll, Golgell, Llansilliog, Gogogoch. No, I can't. I have to say it to be honest.
Llanfair Pwllgwyngyll, Golgerach and Robert, Llansilliog, Gogogoch. You should know, you've been there many times.
In it.
Let's go here.
Say the name of that town.
Llanfair Pwllgwyngyll, Golgerach and Robert, Llansilliog, Gogogoch. And that's a native pronunciation. There you go.
I feel like I'm being gaslit into thinking Welsh is real. What the hell? I have now listened to this like 10 times in a row, and I couldn't tell you. I mean, I know pneumona ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. I know that one. Does that impress anybody? It's just that, but Welsh. Pneumona ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. You're giving German. I got anti-disestablishmentarianism. Yeah, dude. Who didn't love learning that word as a kid? Anti-disestablishmentarianism. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. Pneumona ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. When I was a kid, I would just look up the longest words and be like, I'm going to learn that one. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. 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 From the limna humninai. Flokenfilfication. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Bro, you gotta drop a no offense before being anti. Yeah, true. No offense. No offense, but. Honestly, to the untrained ear, that is it. I learned that word because the girl that sat next to us in science class in 7th grade got mad at my friend for using long words, so he learned the longest word in the English language. Nothing like seeking revenge through learning the longest word in the English language. Do you know what that translates to? St. Mary's Church in the Hollow of the White Hazel near the rapid whirlpool of Lanticilio of the Red Cave. That's what this is. I feel like I'd rather learn St. Mary's Church in the Hollow of the White Hazel near the rapid whirlpool of Lanticilio of the Red Cave. I'd have a better chance. I think I would have a chance with that. RJ, thank you for the 21 months. Am I planning on going to TwitchCon this year? I think so. I believe so. I do. Watch this next time you have a migraine. But dude, I know this is going to be something that gives me a fucking migraine.
Everyone always asks me, Lauren, what's the proper way to get rid of a migraine without medication? I don't even know. My name's not Lauren, but my name is Sid, and I can show you how to become the Lorax.
I speak for the trees.
Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot, 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 hot? Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me?
Thank you. Thank you, not Lauren, but Sid. Thank you so much. That got rid of my migraine, but my house caught on fire. You know what? For a moment, I had peace. I did. Oh, another gay idea for Pride. Fashon rates fashion from gay games. Oh, yeah. Wait, what's tomorrow? Is tomorrow Friday? Yes. So...
21 months, Pog. Are you planning on going to TwitchCon this year? I've been thinking about going this year for the
Don't
first
you
time.
wish your girlfriend was hot like me? So tomorrow, tomorrow, Sam and I are going to be planning out ideas for our fundraising stream on Saturday.
Let's go Quantourage.
So if you have ideas, put them in the Discord. Maybe there's a segment where Ruth and Fashan appear, maybe special guests, right? If we get to a certain donation goal. Who are we raising funds for? We are going to be raising funds for Point of Pride. So Point of Pride is a nonprofit that provides financial aid and direct support to trans folks in need of health and wellness care. And that was the fundraiser that we did when we did the Creators for Peace. But the production costs and everything, to put together a show like that means that we can't raise as much money as ideally we wanted to. So individual creators have been doing fundraising streams. Like Taylor Lorenz raised $40,000 just off her newsletter. And then Alana Pierce did a fundraiser that I know Nandre was a part of, and they raised another $12,000. And so Sam and I we're doing our thing on Saturday. $10 to pick your next tattoo. Well, it would be my first tattoo. Well, it's a good thing to mention on your walk cards. Yes, Mike. Yes. My walk cards, which my volunteers will be handing out to people. You know what? Actually, I said, I was like, hey, Bill Ackman is looking to back a candidate. I'll just take all his money. I'll be like, hey, King, ain't nobody going to be able to stand up to Zobron like me. Social media, I got that down. TikTok, say less. And then I just make him waste all his money. What's the sub goal for getting a new P.O. box? The sub goal for getting a new P.O. box. We have already hit that. We have hit that. That was supposed to be a Will Neff thing. That was on Will Neff's to-do list. Will and I have certain to-do lists where I go, okay, I'll do this one. You do this one. I'll do this one. You do this one. That is on his list. I know that there's gays that would love your take on this queen's fit. I mean, look. If I had, body is tea. Body is tea. This is the type of clothing that I'm like, you know what? I would never wear it, but it looks great on her. For me, I'm like, give me sweaters and pants. Love me some sweaters and pants. Here's something that would take a while. Is this the Nepo Baby tier list? Because I have already pitched that. I have pitched the Nepo Baby tier list. So, yeah, Sam is coming over. We're going to plan stuff. I don't know how... I'm sure we'll need things in between our donation goals. So we'll be pies. We will be we'll be doing lots of stuff on Saturday. Okay, you guys, let's run it. Let me run it back a little bit. Hold on.
To be born to be considered old.
Okay.
Joking it. How about you're insufferable?
Was that like an industry?
Okay.
But
lesbian. You threw a lesbian under the bus for no reason.
The OG.
Got it.
She's the first lesbian.
Our patron saint, really.
Ellen.
Of course.
Who is a bigger drain on society's resources? Straight.
Okay, we already did that.
Like pharma. Get rid like a large.
Your fixation with age.
Of course. I'm really excited to get older.
Okay.
I'm really excited to get older.
But you're not a huge fan of older bitches.
No, not ones that
All right. Okay, let's finish this interview. There are only 12 minutes left in this, so let's finish this. JDs, thank you for the 4 months. Okay. Shrek 2 as a goal. You guys really want me to get banned, don't you? You also never did this one. This is the conspiracy one. This is the conspiracy theory tier list. Okay. Give me that one. Give me the Nepo. The Nepo baby one. All right, I got both of them. I just became a follower to say Lanfer Pushwingus Gogorish Windrobo Santi Cilio Go Go Go. Thank you. Up is down. Thank you for waiting the 10 minutes. That was very dedicated. I'm pretty sure I already nailed it though. Lanfer Pushwingus Gogorish Windrobo Santi Cilio Go Go Go. Like I already had that down. All right, you guys. Renee Rapp is an iconic guest finishing the Z-Way interview.
Belittle younger people. That's so tired.
Yeah.
That's so like respect your elders. No, like what if my elder is a f***ing asshole?
But what if your elder has
True.
wisdom?
Then they can give me wisdom. I thought you were gonna say like, what if your elder has cancer?
What if your elder has cancer?
I've known
Dragon
some
on me,
that
thank
are
you for the
not
5
nice.
gifted subs.
Cancer or not?
James,
Please,
thank you for
can
the
you-
tier 1 gifted.
Probably. My great grandma was kind of crazy.
And she had cancer.
Actually, I don't know if she had cancer. I might have just made that up. But she did. She passed.
What?
She passed.
Ay, caramba. Do you think seniors should be euthanized?
Yes.
Okay. I should have known the answer to that question.
Right.
Coming up.
The pig's name was.
What?
I'm so sorry. On behalf of all of us from rural North Carolina, this is crazy. The pig's name was Piggy Smalls, and this is.
Oh my God, Piggy Smalls mention! Holy shit, Piggy Smalls mention! Up is down. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Holy shit. Oh my God. Piggy Smalls mention.
Household.
100 Thieves, Piggy Smalls.
You, it was insane.
Let's continue. You once said Erewhon is where your white woman shines.
Yes.
Where does your white woman dim?
Ooh. Wow. That was holy shit. A tear just swelled in my left duct. My white woman dims. I can't even lie to you. It's usually on full display. There are times when I should tone it down, and I wonder if I don't enough.
Really?
Yeah, the white woman is always, you know.
In us.
I don't know if it can be dimmed.
No. That's like me. It's the white woman in me. She's always there. The White Woman in Me. The title of my upcoming memoir. She tries to fight her way out. Sometimes she's strong. Sometimes she's stronger, but she is always there.
I don't know if it can be dimmed.
I love these relatable
There are
words.
probably times where I should dim it.
At least they're
But
working.
it's usually on full display.
And could you give a PSA to white women who need to dim at a certain time, please?
Yes. When you need to dim your white woman. That sounds like a possession. When you need to dim your external white woman like myself.
Jessica, it'll be
pack it up.
like after
and it's
this.
okay to be hit.
What?
You know.
I was not expecting that to go in that direction.
I'm saying, just you know how like there's always something crazy that happens at a grocery store or on an airplane, and all the comments are usually like somebody should have hit her when she was younger, or like now, and everybody's like violence is not the answer. I'm like, if someone clocked her, it wouldn't be terrible. Wouldn't be the worst thing that's
Got it.
happened.
And another PSA about how you're pro-violence, please.
Totally, totally. If I ever need to get clocked, if I say anything crazy, you can hit me. That's okay.
Coming up.
But again, I can pull trig when I need to.
And what does trig mean in this instance?
Like trig, like not that I would be this, but like
This is
you're like,
honestly.
you gotta pull
This
trig.
might be one of the most unhinged interviews I've seen.
Oh my gosh.
Which you shouldn't. I'm just saying that like if I were to, I'd be super good at it because I had years of practice. You know?
She has
Now, regarding your music, you
zero
once told The Cut,
filter.
I always knew this was what I was going to do by any means necessary.
Right.
What other Malcolm X speeches speak to you?
Oof. I mean, the one where he brought up lesbian rights really spoke to me because he said specifically, more of like a foreshadowing kind of thing. He was like, there is a young white girl soon to be born. Me. And she's gonna be gay. She's gonna piss a couple people off.
I don't remember the speech.
Deep cut.
Got it.
Deep cut.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
He
I'm
was
pretty
like,
sure it's in the movie though. I'm pretty sure Spike Lee put this in Malcolm X somewhere.
Out music all that often. He like takes like 6 to 7 year hiatus.
Oh yes, Malcolm X the rapper.
Yes, he loved lesbians, specifically me.
Yes, Malcolm X is known for loving white blonde lesbians.
Died for the white blonde lesbians. Died for it. Yeah.
How many black friends do you have?
One. We're friends. No, that's not true. Do you need me to genuinely count?
I feel like that's part of the prep work for this interview.
Is to know how many black friends I have?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do a count because I feel like if you're asking me, then I can count.
You can objectify them.
Okay. Like in my immediate close, we talk
You're asking
like all the
so
time.
many follow-ups.
I just want to get it right.
Sure, in your immediate group chats that you have.
In the chats, we're working with. In the immediate close chats, talk like almost every day. We're working with about 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are their names?
Bishop, Eliana, Justin, Gabby, Lisa.
This is the most I've seen your light dim, by the way.
Malcolm X. They're in the list.
Honestly, 6 black friends in the group chat. That's a big group chat just to start with.
In chats.
And you also said, I love Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
If anybody tries her when it comes to that sorry-ass man, it's do or die fight for me.
Right.
How do you feel about Tory Lanez getting stabbed 12 times?
I feel like a lot of people get stabbed, and like that's okay. Maybe we should be doing it more.
Please.
Maybe we should be stabbing more. Shiv in the pocket.
And you said, did you see that?
Shiv in the pocket. Shiv in the pocket. You heard it. You heard
Drake
it.
posted a petition to pardon Tory Lanez this morning. How do you feel about that?
I have no context for this woman. Honestly, Renee Rapp works best just being introduced to her like this. The context is Renee Rapp. She is the context.
That's so tired. I love Kendrick Lamar.
Ooh.
I love Kendrick Lamar.
They not like us.
That's where my white woman shines.
Please.
Kidding. Completely kidding. No, it's dimming. It's dimming. It's going down.
Can you sing the chorus of They Not Like Us just for...
I don't know that one is really for me.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you have a boundary.
Yeah.
I first discovered you through your covers. Specifically the If I Were a Boy by Beyonce cover. I thought that was so beautiful.
Thanks.
In the words of Patti LaBelle, I think you have soul like a mug. My question for you is, would you say you sing like a little white black girl?
When Ariana like drops to the floor.
Also, if you don't know Z-Way, so Z-Way is a comedian. I think she started off on like social media, like TikTok, and then HBO produced a show that was like a fancy big budget version of what she would Insta, yes, of what she was doing as a content creator, as like a comedian content creator. Her interview with Chet Hanks, very famous interview, George Santos, and she specifically asks she asks like bait questions, right? Her questions are all bait, very provocative. Like it's supposed to feel so awkward.
And like falls.
Unless you get somebody who's also who can like ride with it.
Little dress. I would say
You'll never believe who she follows on IG. Let me take one fucking guess. One motherfucking guess. Now, you know what? Not even going to say. I am not even going to say. Nope.
That I am heavily inspired by Black female singers, and as
Andrew
much as I
Cuomo.
would love to sound like the people who I listen to and admire, I certainly don't.
You promoted your newest song, Bite Me, by posting a thirst trap, which was liked by hundreds of thousands of people. What advice do you have for fuglies who want to promote their work?
I feel like, you know, you can always resort to comedy, which is cool. And I also think that, like, you know, dim the lighting. Like, things can
And
be.
anyone can be a
things
7.
helped. We can, you know, compensate in other ways.
Got it.
Yeah.
And speaking of body, you have a 4.5 on WikiFeet.
I know.
Did you know that?
I'm f***ing pissed.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed.
Someone commented, hopefully she shows off her soul soon. How do you take that kind
Also,
of...
let me just say, jokes aside, Renee has been one of the loudest defenders of Meg Thee Stallion. Okay? Even when it was mostly crickets, and there sure was a lot of support on Chris Brown's side. You have like SZA, Renee Rapp, a few of the consistent defenders of Meg who have had no problem telling Tory Lanez and Tory Lane supporters to go to fucking hell.
Directive.
Well, with a 4.5, I surely won't.
Oh.
We've gone over this with all my
I
friends.
still don't understand why Meg should need defending. Insane, right? Like absolutely insane that there's that we live in a world where not only are people not defending Meg Thee Stallion, but that there seem to be more detractors. There seem to be more supporters of Tory Lanez who are at least very loud about it.
I'm so angry. My friends have like 5 stars.
Really?
Yes, and I have 4.5. And like, first of all,
Crazy face,
I
they
actually
were
have
13
really
months.
cute little feet. So you guys. Second of all, you're not getting my soul. I'll make an OnlyFans before you get the soul of my foot.
Okay. Wow, empowering.
This pussy bites back.
Oh.
Pink hat on.
Oh, I'm killing myself. No, so you said a few times that you read all the comments online.
Yeah.
Do you still do that, or have you found the path of enlightenment?
I've found the path of enlightenment, and also I've learned to be less egotistical.
This is less.
This is less. It was bad before. You can't even imagine. 1, 2, 3, Dyke. They love this. The more gay you are, the more homophobic you become. It was a couple of the old ones. Actually, I don't know if she had cancer. That's super weird to hear and kind of manipulative. I was like, can it? So that I didn't constitute as cheating. I like to put a little on the end. Yeah, it was terrible. No, I used to think like, oh, I just like feel so bad. I like want to like read the comments. Like, I hope nobody is hating me. And then I kind of realized that like, obviously that stems from insecurity, but it also stems from like a deep place of needing like my ego to be like completely intact.
Yes.
So I try not to now.
Yeah.
I saw some crazy shit last night. I was awake until 3 a.m.
Really?
Yes. Now I'm aware of how people are perceiving my body, and I spiraled for a good hour.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was like, maybe I'm the fugly one who's promoting my music. You never know.
I have a couple questions left.
Yes.
Why did you...
Dude, Toxic Bear, thank you for the 15 months. You know, I have to say, when you are a celebrity, when you are an internet creator, just the more visible you are, the more visible you are online, and especially like, I don't know, especially being a content creator where the internet is your job. Unfortunately, you cannot separate yourself from the internet because the internet is your job. It is really easy to fall down the rabbit hole of reading terrible comments about yourself where you're sitting there, you're like, what the fuck? That's not true. Oh, we're just making shit up, huh? I have read some of the most insane, just fiction about my life. And that's why, like, I had to actively pull
15
myself
months.
away from
Thanks
reading
for being
internet
the best,
comments,
Caroline.
even the good ones, because when you read the good comments, when you read the supportive comments, and then you know, that contributes to your self-worth, then it makes the bad comments that much stronger too, right? It's a double, it's good and bad. The supportive comments are really wonderful, but because if you allow them to like play a big part in your life, then the bad comments do too. So I don't know. You either just you just live in this world of like reading comments and treating them seriously, and especially because negative comments, even when they are outnumbered by positive comments, are the ones that stick with you, that like will cause you to spiral out. You either do that or you just don't. Bro, how are you live again? I don't fucking know, bro. No one knows anything. Their opinions must be disregarded. Unless they give you a lot of money, then you should give them unbridled attention. That's right. If you donate a lot of money, if you give subs, then your opinion matters. Also, shout out to Krob. Krob, you have a bright future in news. You are the newscaster that this country needs. So I hope that you continue to deliver news to us and the boomers who make up the majority of your audience. I will allow myself to be bought. Yes, 1000%. Krob is here, available for being bought by any special interests. You know, whoever. Who I was saying earlier, you know, Bill Ackman's like, I'll throw hundreds of millions of dollars into the mayoral race. I'm like, great, okay. What's up? Thank you for the show, Kelly. Genuinely, Krob, thank you for being amazing and talented. And you know what? These like next show, these top streamer shows, it's at the end of the day, like what is it besides just winning money, which is great, but it should never ever make you think that you cannot be a streamer on this platform, because you're already doing it, bud. You already doing it. Why? What people, Deanie? Thank you for the gifted sub. Toxic Bear, thank you. Okay.
You leave Sex Lives and College Girls.
It was just such a good experience.
The fact that it got canceled after you left, does that make you feel
What's
like
up,
you're
Theo?
that bitch?
I didn't know it got canceled. I kind of ate that up, I'm not gonna lie. I was honestly even internally proud of that answer. I was like, I cooked! Sorry. No, I think it's a real tragedy.
Okay.
I wish I could go back.
Really?
Nope.
Let's play a game. It's called Young or Dead. I'm gonna list people and you tell me if they're young or dead.
She kind of reminds me of Cutie. I think though, especially old Cutie, because dark-haired Cutie, old Cutie, she was even more unhinged, right? And I think what happened is the internet was really mean to Cutie, and it affected her like it does a lot of people. So she still has that, like, she's super quick, you know, she is able to pull things out that I'm like, where did that even come from? Where did that even come from? Very dry. But yeah, I feel like Renee Rapp is dark-haired Cutie.
That's crazy. Young or dead?
Dark-haired lesbian Cutie.
Got it.
Morgan Freeman.
Young.
Bob the Drag Queen.
So young.
Avril Lavigne.
It depends on who you ask.
I'm asking you.
Right. There's a theory that she's dead and this is her clone. Do you know about this?
Yes, and where do you stand?
I don't know. She's young.
Joan Rivers.
Really tragically actually dead.
Kylie Minogue.
Very young.
Robert F. Kennedy.
Oh, is that the one who's spewing crazy shit right now?
Brainworms guy.
Oh my God, dead, please.
Aretha Franklin.
Young, but dead.
Okay, we're gonna leave that. One more, Michael Jackson.
Well, dead.
Beyonce.
Young, forever young, forever young. Nothing will ever kill her. She can't die. She can't die. She's immortal. She's immortal. She's young forever.
You said delusions give you confidence.
Yes.
How do you think this interview went?
Don't see my first of 3 streams today.
I think I did all right. I think there were
You know what,
moments
though?
where my
As human beings, we're full of contradictions, okay? I contradict myself all the time.
white woman was shining, and there were certainly moments where my white woman was dimming, and I needed to be humbled.
Speaking of humble,
Yes.
could you take us out with a Kendrick Lamar performance?
Totally. Peekaboo. I feel like that's maybe one lyric from the album I can say. You're a little too pretty to just look at dead on, I'm gonna be honest. It's kind of, it makes me a little nervous. It makes me a little nervous. I think.
Okay, that's Renee Rapp, everyone, please. You are so welcome.
Oh my God.
That was amazing.
You're so fun.
You advocate for violence a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Advocate for violence a lot.
No, I believed you.
Yeah. Do you have a preferred side or anything?
No, do you?
No. Okay, good. Just wanted to double check.
Okay, thank you.
Oh my God, that's one of the funniest things.
yeah.
You
Oh my
advocate
gosh,
for
don't flirt
violence a
with me.
lot.
I'm sorry. It's hard.
All right, here we go.
Holy shit, that was very funny. That was very entertaining. I enjoyed that. Okay. Okie dokie. Alrighty. Oh, wait, for a second. First, before we get into finishing up, we're gonna really switch gears. Are you gonna go to her tour? It depends if Ludwig will buy tickets. I go see all my girly pups. All my girly pups. Sorry, Ludwig has to buy tickets. Or else he hates women. So okay, before we get to finishing up Fahrenheit 9/11, I just have to call out Miss Deborah Messing, because you know what I have decided? All right, you know what I have decided? In Hollywood, people who have said things like, I think Palestinians deserve freedom and security and human rights. People who say that get fired. They get death threats. They get harassed. They experience career repercussions. And then you have racist ass fuckers like Deborah Messing, like Selma Blair. I was like, I don't want to say the wrong Selma Blair. You have these really Jonah Platt, but like Jonah Platt's a fail son. Okay. Jonah Platt has a podcast. That's it. Jonah Platt is not famous. The reason people know him is if you are a theater kid, you know that he's the worst Firo to have ever Firo'd on stage, or because of the one of the most embarrassing Instagram comments that he has ever left. Juliana Margulies, yes, I'm not trying to single out racist white ladies, but like those three in particular, Eli Roth, okay, we'll throw Eli Roth in there. But I am like it's astounding that you can be vilely racist towards Muslims. You can be just making things up, engaging in defamatory, slanderous statements. And where are the repercussions? Where are the consequences? So I am going to be personally, I have been doing this for the last 2 years, personally holding these racists in Hollywood accountable. And Deborah Messing, my God, I have called her ass out before, but here she was back at it in the comments of an Instagram post, responding to someone about Sauron and why she's not supporting him, saying, I have nothing against socialism. Don't know where you got that. It's like, oh, okay, great. You have nothing against socialism. You just hate Muslims, as she is about to show. Don't know where you got that. I voted against M First of all, use his name. I'm sorry. How much time did you save, Deborah? Did you save an extra 30 seconds to be even more racist because you didn't say his name? Because you wrote M instead, that gave you an extra 30 seconds to spew even more racist shit? She didn't know how to spell it. Of course she didn't know how to spell it. Of course. I voted against M because he celebrated 9/11. Okay, first of all, Zoran would have been what? 10? He would have been 10 when 9/11 happened? Where is this proof of Zoran celebrating 9/11, Deborah Messing? Because that's a really big statement to say. Yeah, he was in 5th grade. He was in 5th grade. Huh. Okay. Big statement to just casually write in an Instagram comment that Zoran Mamdani celebrated 9/11. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Ah! I love my country. My reasoning is not Islamophobia. I have chosen to live in the most beautifully diverse city in the world. The same people who did 9/11 did October 7th. You guys, racism rots your brain, okay? It genuinely, like, transphobia is a brain disease. Bigotry of all forms, it destroys your brain. It makes you a stupid fuck. The same people who did 9/11 did October 7th? So, Saudi Arabia? Someone should tell Netanyahu that it was the Saudis, not Hamas. Yeah. I guess Deborah knows something that we don't know. I guess. The same people who did 9/11 did October 7th. I just don't want a mayor who sides with terrorists. Oh, and he wants to defund the police. And he has no experience. I'll stop here. You know what, Deb? You should have stopped at the beginning of the statement when you said, I have nothing against socialism. You should have stopped there because you proceeded to write some of the most disgusting, slanderous lies. And you should be like, where are the consequences? You should not be allowed, whether you are Kristen Gillibrand saying, honestly, giving John Fetterman a run for his money. Giving John Fetterman a run for his money. Or you are like any pundit or commentator on mainstream media, on the news, or you're like Deborah Messing or other people in Hollywood. Where are the fucking consequences for these people? I am so sick and tired. I am so sick and tired that they think because it's acceptable to be Islamophobic in this country. This is what Renee Rapp was talking about. That's right. That is what Renee Rapp was talking about. But I am sick and tired of these people, of these racists, being so openly racist because they don't face any consequences. Because Islamophobia is so normalized and is encouraged and is acceptable in the United States of America. She just means Arabs because she's fucking racist. Yeah, the thing is that you have to like, to understand what she's saying here, you have to like put on the racist cap and go, oh, she's saying the same people who did 9/11 did October 7th because she's talking about Muslims. Like, this is a woman who is so Islamophobic and for the past 2 years has said some of the most disgusting things. And where's the articles about Deborah Messing being a racist? Like, where's her agency dropping her? Where's the outcry? Racists need to feel shame again. Truly. We have to, you know what? It is finally time. It is finally time that we fucking call out the Islamophobia that is alive and well in this country, that is built into the fabric of our society, that is legislated. It is like legal to be Islamophobic. that is spewed across the political spectrum, that is propagated by the media, by politicians, by celebrities, by random fuckers on the internet. You can say anything about a brown person. It is encouraged. Yeah. Islamophobia was institutionalized for like 30 years. It's a hard one to break. Well, we need to fucking break it, okay? We need to call these people out. We need to do everything we can to hold them accountable. Kristen Gillibrand should have to resign. She should have to resign for the disgusting things that she said. If someone told me Gillibrand likes ketchup, I would assume a tomato farmer somewhere had lobbied her to say that. I guess what I'm saying is if she starts getting heat from the other direction, she will 180 as she always does. If Mamdani becomes a popular mayor of NYC, Gillibrand will march around with a keffiyeh and memorize the script of Mississippi Masala if that's what she thinks will get her a few votes. Kristen Gillibrand should face calls to resign. Every single Democrat who has engaged in Islamophobic attacks against people like Zoran, should face calls to resign. That they should face consequences. Al Franken's revenge. Yeah. Goodbye. It needs to be treated seriously. Yes. And it begins with us, the public. It begins with us, the public, treating this as the hate speech that it is, holding these people accountable for this vile racism that is far too commonplace. You know? Also, every Democrat who threw their weight behind opposing Zoran, primary them all. Get rid of all of them. They are terrified right now. They are so scared. They're shitting and farting. They are shitting and farting. And we need to make them sweat. I saw on Twitter that you were considering running for Congress. No! I wanted to encourage you to do so. I ran for my county council and did much better than expected, even though I didn't win. It's really not that crazy to do it. Look, I applaud you. Kyle 3700. I applaud you. I think that's so admirable. This is Michael from Pennsylvania. Michael from Pennsylvania who is doing this. He is behind this. Look, I'm just a pop culture justice warrior. I'm a pop culture justice warrior. You know, look, maybe when I am ready to be done with being a streamer, being a content creator, maybe I would consider. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to feel in 5 years, 10 years. Maybe I'll go, fuck it all. I'm just writing my memoir. The white woman inside me. I don't know. I can't predict the future. I cannot see. I will say I encourage those of you who are passionate about running for office to go do it. Go do it. When I turned 70, a man in India reportedly survived a lion attack while sleeping on the street. The lion sniffed him and then walked away. Yeah, this is a fucking an AI video. Yeah, no, this shit is 237,000 likes. 237,000 likes. Oh my God, man. You could primary Fran Drescher for president of SAG. Now, there's an idea. Mike also said that if you run, he'll be your chief of staff and do all the work, and you can just sit there and look pretty and collect accolades. I mean, I don't hate that. He's been trying to entice me by being like, don't you want to be on the cover of Vogue? Don't you want to be on Vanity Fair? And I was like, I mean, obviously. He's like, well, this is your way to do it. I'll do everything else. You can just, you can just slay queen. Ay, ay, ay. Sorry for the non sequitur, but have you covered the Karen Reed trial? I have not covered the Karen Reed trial yet because there's so much with that trial. I also, one of the only people I know who has covered it is Emily D. Baker, and I do not share her work anymore. So it's a very, very deep rabbit hole, and I just like, I know the gist of it. I also saw the funniest tweet that was like, you know what? I supported Karen Reed even when I thought she killed her cop boyfriend. Because Karen Reed was found, she was found not guilty. And like, it's pretty obvious that the cops were the ones who were responsible for this, and that she was having to take the fall for it. It's really a wild story, but like, yeah, I don't know where this tweet is, but someone was like, damn, I supported her even when I thought she killed her cop boyfriend. They were so sloppy about trying to frame her. Yeah. It's a wild case. People were attacking Zoran's wife for not taking his last name. It's so crazy. Yeah, they're attacking them for everything. What happened with Emily D. Baker? She has, to me, I kind of am sus overall. Let me just say, I'm sus overall of like lawyers who are lawyer content creators who gravitate towards drama. I just think that it's gross. And Emily D. Baker caused a lot of harm during the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. And as far as I know, she never amended anything. She never apologized for anything. It's giving very hacky. She's doing it again with Blake. There is just something that gives me the ick, that kind of just, as a lawyer, I think moving in that way should get you disbarred. I mean, there's certainly an argument to be made there. Yes, she also blamed Breonna. She was horrible on Breonna Taylor. She blamed Breonna Taylor's death on her and her boyfriend. Emily Baker is right-wing, I do believe. I do believe that she is right-wing. And I have heard, I've heard a number of people do a deep dive on her background, and it's very sus. You need to be deplatformed immediately. Why? Wait. Let me ask them. Hold on. Why? You need to be deplatformed immediately. Why Fortnite XQC Mar? Lil Juicer? Lil Juicy Juicer? Why do I need to be deplatformed immediately? Because she's so tall. Because you're 5'9". This person has followed me for a year. Followed me for a year. And just comes in hot. You need to be You know what I will say? I will say that there are a lot of people with a lot bigger audiences than me who are doing some real heinous shit on this platform. And yet you come in here, as I just spent 10 minutes being like, we should hold people accountable for being racist. Islamophobia is not acceptable. Maybe they meant Emily D. Baker. Maybe, look, Fortnite XQC Mar, maybe you were referring to Emily D. Baker being deplatformed. I unbanned you to let you speak. But I guess no. You should have said he should be deplatformed for promoting the Barack Obama musical. I mean, that's fair. Barack Obama. He'll charm the pants off your mama. Barack Obama. All right, well, they're unbanned. They're maybe go easy on him. He's a juicer. He just got done with summer school. Yeah, maybe he was referring to Emily D. Baker. I don't know. Taylor Lorenz talks about her at
People
the
have no gauge on
10:40
whether or not
mark.
the thing they believe about a woman is true, or if they just accepted it when somebody told them.
Emily D. Baker is a law tuber who gained enormous prominence during the Depp vs. Heard trial, and she has kind of a shady background, in my opinion, right?
Yeah, no, I think so too. And a lot of people who watch her, I think, either don't know this or they just kind of justify it away. But Emily D. Baker is a former DA from Los Angeles, and people know that about her because it is part of her credentials. People will say, I watched Emily D. Baker, she's a former DA, but they don't mention that she was a Republican then, and she is one now. And not even just in like a vague, never Trump conservative kind of way, but in a way that leads her to say things like that Trump's 2020 election conspiracy had merit, and that she wants to flip California red, that she thinks that's possible. And it's not even just that, but she's also like victim blamed Breonna Taylor as well as Megan Thee Stallion. And those are both cases where I would say very plainly that a black woman was unambiguously a victim of violence. So I think people who are saying that her politics don't come through in her content are kind of fooling themselves if she's willing to make that kind of justification. I think LawTube is full of evil people making evil content, but then they manage.
You guys, a lot of LawTube, they're just drama farmers. They are. And they utilize their law degrees to give themselves, to kind of like raise their, because they're experts then, right? Now, I'm not saying all of LawTube. I'm not saying all of LawTube is bad. Sorry, credibility. Yes, thank you. That's what I was looking for. But I've noticed this trend. I've noticed this trend of LawTubers who will seek out whatever is like big drama happening in content land, and then they will, a lot of them, their politics, their personal opinions will come through by covering a legal case that deals with content creators. But because they're lawyers, because they are experts, right, their opinions will be treated as just stone cold truth, and it will look like they're unbiased because, but they're just lawyers. They're just reading the briefs here. They're just reading the briefs. Like, yeah, as if lawyers also outside of LawTube are not biased. This idea that like there are no biases, that your personal opinions don't come into play when you work in the legal system. Come on. So no, I to be clear, I'm not like, I'm not starting to like suddenly name every single LawTuber. I'm like, fuck that person. I just think that LawTube needs to have a bigger microscope held up to it. And I think a lot of times people will take these LawTubers' opinions as unbiased, neutral fact. To be fair, Leisha Miller doesn't pretend to be apolitical and is very upfront about her bias. Totally. Yeah, and I've watched a lot of Leisha's videos, and some of her videos I think are really great. And Legal Eagle will also usually state their bias in a video.
To keep the truly evil slips off of people's radar when it happens. Like Emily D. Baker says, that's why you shouldn't hang around with drug dealers, about Breonna Taylor on a live in her car.
Also, don't run around with drug runners.
But then when she's confronted about it later, she successfully argues, because again, law, like these people know how to argue. She successfully argues that she somehow was not victim blaming her because she never explicitly said that the murder should have happened.
Okay, Emily, sure. Sure.
Gross.
The next group that's part of this sort of misogyny slap ecosystem is body language experts.
So anyway, That's true. Leisha isn't a law tuber. She's just also a lawyer. She doesn't cover. Yes. Fair point. Yeah. Like you know the ones I'm talking about, okay? These ones who they tend to cover like celebrity legal matters within the content creator world. You know, it's giving drama. It's giving drama tubers. Well. All right, you guys. Without further ado, let me get this going, or else I am never going to watch this. God, it is so easy to get distracted here. Trigger. Yeah. No. Thank you, but I have all the timestamps marked down, I think. I think so. I hope so. Well. Okay, so sorry if you missed the first half. We actually have less than half. Sorry if you missed the first half of Fahrenheit 9/11 that we started on Monday, I think it was. Lawyers are still just giving opinions. They're as likely to ignore facts and cherry pick to support their interpretations and conclusions. Yeah, but dumb people on the internet are like, oh, if they said it, then it's, no debating that here. Okay, so we watched the first half of Fahrenheit 9/11, where Michael Moore really sets up the before the invasion of Iraq. So he starts to make connections between like the Bush family and the Saudi royal family, and this documentary came out in 2004, and since then we have a lot more has come out, like classified docs that have become unclassified as this lawsuit has been going on now for like, let's see, I think it started in 2016 when the families and survivors of 9/11 were finally able to sue to sue Saudi Arabia. This has been going on for years, and we now have a lot more information, evidence that points to the Saudis' involvement in 9/11. And yet it has never really seemed to matter. It's never seemed to matter to the media. It's never seemed to matter to our politicians, who just do the same song and dance over and over again whenever they want to go like fuck shit up in the Middle East. I posted the timestamps if you need them. Oh, great. Thank you. Let me make sure I have those written down. Okay, this one. Yeah, I have that one. Yeah, okay, I have that one. 112 to, yep, I have that one. 112. Cool. Thank you so much, Alexander. Okay, so now we just got to the part where George Bush gave his speech in March of 2003, the night before U.S. troops officially invaded Iraq. And
American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger. On my orders, coalition forces have begun striking selected targets of military importance to undermine Saddam Hussein's ability to wage war.
On March 19, 2003, George W. Bush and the United States military invaded the sovereign nation of Iraq, a nation that had never attacked the United States, a nation that had never threatened to attack the United States, a nation that had never murdered a single American citizen.
What is this baby's crime? Was he going to fight the soldiers? Cowards, I went out with a bat and asked the soldier to hit me. I swear on the Quran. Those who don't fear death don't die.
We are going to find this, I think, piece of my neighbor, young girl, age 20, Shams. I think it's the other part of her body. That's all.
There is a lot of innocent civilians that were killed, and I think that is because the U.S. Army, we came in and we knew it wasn't going to be easy, and they pretty much at first shot anything that moved.
War happens and the fighting starts, it's kind of like we're pumped up, motivated, ready to go.
It's the ultimate rush, because you're going into the fight to begin with, and then you got a good song playing in the background, and that gets you real fired up.
Dude, look, I have empathy for certain soldiers who were manipulated, who were preyed upon, who were in very economically vulnerable situations and were promised this way out, right? But then there are others who they're just straight up sick fucks. They knew what was going on. They went in there and they didn't care that they were murdering civilians. They enjoyed it. They took great pleasure in it because, like other people in America, they don't view those in the Middle East, they don't view Arabs as human. And so this was just oh, I'm going to go play COD, but for real. And that's what happens because of dehumanization. Absolutely. When you are raised with this mentality that an entire region of people are bad, that they are not deserving of being treated as human beings, then what can result is this.
Ready to do the job.
You can hook your CD player up to the tank's internal communication Charlie box. So that way when you put your helmet on, you can hear it through the helmet.
This is the one we listen to the most. This is the one we try when we kill the enemy. Johnny Pool at the body at the floor is just fitting for the job we were doing.
And then it's just dead bodies of civilians.
The roof was on fire because basically it symbolized Baghdad being on fire, and at the time we wanted it to burn to get Saddam and his regime out.
And again, there were these soldiers, they believed that they had to go into Iraq to stop Saddam. And they were told, if we don't stop Saddam, then America is going to be destroyed, right? All of this very they were imbued with a very big sense of jingoism, that they were the saviors for their country, and they had to go in and do this. And there are certainly soldiers who, upon returning from Iraq, upon returning from Afghanistan, have since disavowed the military, have disavowed the American imperialist forces that went into these countries in the Middle East and killed so many civilians under false pretenses because of lies. And so it is it's horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying. And I think to dismiss all, every single person who enlisted in the military is not the way to go. And again, a lot of the biggest anti-imperialist groups in this country are comprised of vets, are comprised of people who served in the military, who know firsthand how predatory it is, how how harmful it is, and they are the ones who have dedicated their lives towards like being a PSA for not, being a PSA for like not joining the military. My daughter's dad was a medic and died after going there. He had severe PTSD from what he saw and had an episode and died suicide by cop. That shit a young person sees and experiences is detrimental to their mental health. And this was before they had mental health services for soldiers of war. Yeah. I mean, and the numbers of, how many soldiers after Iraq and Afghanistan ended up killing themselves, like dying by suicide. That number is very high. I mean, suicide is something that afflicts veterans from across, across wars. That this isn't just something that happened in the, in the 2000s, but that is certainly a reality of being a veteran and being a veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan. I think like over 30,000 U.S. service members and veterans of the post 9/11 wars have died by suicide, which is 4 times as many that died in combat. Like, think about that. Think about that. 4 times as many service members and veterans of the post 9/11 wars have died by suicide rather than in combat. Yeah, it's horrible. No, it's absolutely awful.
The roof is on fire. We don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn. Burn, motherfucker. Burn. We don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn. Burn, motherfucker.
This is a whole totally different picture here, being pushed into the city, urban warfare in a tank, civilians.
The civilians, it gets.
You don't know who's friendly,
because we're not.
Who's the enemy.
This was a lot more real and true than just a video game. A lot of people thought it was just me. Oh yeah, look through the sight and shoot. No, a lot of this is face to face, and especially riding by after some of the bombs have went off and seeing all the people on the side of the road bloated up and just all the smells around you. I mean, from the people lying dead, rotted, and it's a lot more gruesome than you think.
We called in with some artillery and some napalm and things like that.
Yeah, and the reality is that a lot of soldiers went over into the Middle East, and they were like, this isn't what we were told was what was going on here. And like they knew how many civilians were caught in the crossfire, in the crosshairs, were like being killed. And I think it's this very, when you've been told one thing, when you've been raised your entire life to believe something to be true, and logically, emotionally, you are recognizing that this is wrong. U.S. military deaths killed in action versus veteran suicides. Yeah, look at this this graph. Oh my God. Sheesh. Goodness. Okay, I still have a couple more seconds of this.
Women and children got hit. We met them on the road, and they had little girls with noses blowing off, and like husbands carrying their dead wives and things like that. That was extremely difficult to deal with, because you're like, shoot, like, what the hell do we do now?
The targeting capabilities and the care that goes into targeting.
Fucking liar.
As impressive as anything anyone could see.
Got him. Good. Second one. Hit the other one.
the care that goes into it, the humanity that goes.
How are none of these people in The Hague? These motherfuckers should have rotted in prison for the rest of their lives. They should not be allowed to be walking around freely, continuing to make money off of bloodshed, continuing to play a role in our political system. Like anywhere, you know, the thing is too, is that because they never had to face criminal consequences, everywhere they go, they should be shamed. They should not be allowed to dine at a restaurant. They should not be allowed to walk down the sidewalk without having tomatoes, oh my God, tomatoes thrown at them. Throw tomatoes at these motherfuckers. Yeah, and like, you know, just a reminder that Kamala Harris and the Democrats were touting their alliance with the Cheneys, with Dick fucking Cheney, most lethal military in the world, and it didn't work for them.
Into it.
Now, to be clear, Donald Rumsfeld is dead. I'm kind of talking in just general terms. Like, none of the architects and none of the architects and those who were behind the scenes, who were a part of this, who were part of these invasions into the Middle East that were based on lies. They should never allow to be they should never know peace for the rest of their lives. And Donald Rumsfeld should have his grave pissed upon. God will destroy their houses. God is great. Yeah, man, it's like you listen to this woman and you think, how could people who live in a place like this not fucking hate America? You know? When this is their only experience of America, when their interactions with America are soldiers bombing and gunning down their loved ones in their homes, destroying their towns and their cities and their countries. Like, look, I know people get all, oh my God, they say death to America. But like, you just have to put yourself in this position. Put yourself in this position when all they know is American military members who invade their homes and they cause great violence to them. And the thing is, it's, yeah, death to traffic, right? Death to America is basically saying, damn you. That's what she's saying. She's saying, damn you to hell. Do you think this woman is going to go and do something? No. But she will forever in her heart say, damn you for the pain that you caused me. That's what that means. You mean they killed civilians? Yes, civilians. It's our uncle's house. We're all civilians. There's no militia here. I pray to God to avenge us. I can only count on you, God. We've had 5 funerals because of the bombings. Oh, God. Oh, God. God, save us from them. Where are you, God? Where are you?
Honestly, I think we should just trust our president in every decision that he makes, and we should just support that, you know, and be faithful in what happens.
Let me just say, okay, this is not about to like we jump on Britney. The fact that they were having celebrities like Britney Spears go out and they were like, hey, Britney, this is what you need to say. And Britney was like in the throes of, not maybe in the throes, but like she has a wig on, okay? She had been through already at this point a lot of mental damage from the media, from the public, so that they just like brought her out. They told her exactly what to say. But that's what was crazy. Like at this time, they had Disney Channel stars, they had pop stars who they were having do propaganda. They were like, this is what you need to say about this, okay? Yeah, Disney Channel, support our troops. Wild.
Do you trust this president?
Yes, I do.
Britney Spears was not alone. The majority of the American people trusted the president, and why shouldn't they? He had spent the better part of the last year giving them every reason why we should invade Iraq.
Saddam Hussein has gone to elaborate lengths, spent enormous sums, taken great risks to build and keep weapons of mass destruction.
Saddam Hussein is determined to get his hands on a nuclear bomb.
Nuclear weapon, nuclear weapon, nuclear weapon.
Active chemical munitions bunkers, mobile production facilities.
We know he's got chemical weapons. He's got them, he's got them, he's got them.
Huh, that's weird, because that's not what Bush's people said when he first took office.
He has not developed any significant capability with respect to weapons of mass destruction. He is unable to project conventional power against his neighbors.
We are able to keep arms from him. His military forces have not been rebuilt.
Saddam Hussein aids and protects terrorists, including members of Al-Qaeda.
There was a relationship between Iraq and Al-Qaeda.
Saddam, Al-Qaeda, Saddam, Al-Qaeda, Saddam, the Al-Qaeda, Saddam, Al-Qaeda.
It is only a matter of time before terrorist states armed with weapons of mass destruction develop the capability to deliver those weapons to U.S. cities.
What we're giving you are facts and conclusions.
Yeah, and previously, the United States government had supported Saddam during the Iraq-Iran civil war. And there's a picture of Donald Rumsfeld, like, shaking Saddam's hand. They had a relationship that went far back. And we trained him, we gave him military and financial aid, we shared intelligence. Like, this is just how it goes, right? Where we look and we see, okay, what are our interests and who are we going to support to make sure that we ensure those interests? And then when things change and we go, okay, we have to now use this person, this group, this government in this way. That's how it goes, right? And Colin Powell got to start covering up the My Lai massacre. Yeah, I mean, this is what you do when you're in government, is that you commit atrocities and then you lie about them. Hold on, I've been bamboozled. This is what they said about Iran. Yeah, I mean, you just hear you hear the same language being used. You hear the same arguments being made, the same demonizing of people who live in the Middle East. And even though, sure, there's a ceasefire right now between Israel and Iran, these same Islamophobic attacks are being used on people like Zohran Mamdani. They are trying to dredge up every racial epithet, every single thing from the playbook to scare people out of supporting a Muslim for mayor of New York City. Copy and pasting propaganda. Yeah, I mean, look at these fucking racist assholes. Zohran Little Muhammad Mamdani is an anti-Semitic socialist communist who will destroy the great city of New York. He needs to be deported, which is why I'm calling for him to be subject to denaturalization proceedings. Oh my God. They're so racist. They are so racist, man. And they don't even have to engage whatsoever with his actual ideas because they just get to be racist about him being Muslim. That's it. That's the strategy. What the fuck? Why are you beeping in there? Oh my God. Oh my fucking God, man. This is a congressman. This is Representative Andy Ogles. Racist Tennessee congressman. Oh my God. It's so... They're openly racist. The Dems won't say a word about it because the Dems are doing racism too. My God, they're aligned on it. You know what? They are aligned on it. And if you can't see that, like, you got to open your eyes, okay? Seriously, hold up. You know what we should do? We should do did a Democrat say this or did a Republican say this? And it'll just be something extremely racist about Memdani. Like, did a Democrat say this or did a Republican say this?
Based on solid intelligence.
A man who hates America. This is a man who cannot stand what we stand for. There's
willingness they hate our freedom
to terrorize himself. He hates the fact, like Al Qaeda
They're
does,
so
that we
racist
love
they
freedom.
gave him
After all,
a
this is the
nickname
guy
they
that
can
tried to kill my
pronounce,
dad
yeah.
at one time.
They simply got people to believe that there was a real threat out there when in fact there wasn't one.
You get told things every day that don't happen. It doesn't seem to bother people.
Of course, the Democrats were there to put a stop to all these falsehoods.
I will vote to give the president the authority he needs.
The United States is prepared to lead a coalition of the willing that will do it.
And you know what happened after the Iraq War became so deeply unpopular with the American public? Once we found out about all the lies, people who voted in support of the Iraq War, they tried to backtrack on it. Hillary Clinton, like, that was a big thing when she was running in 2016, is she kind of tried, she tried to like do some revisionism around her being an absolute war hawk. But like, yeah, this has been the case many times, unless you're like Sean Hannity, who goes, nope, I thought we should have invaded back then. And I still stand by that. But a lot of them, because they understand how politically unpopular it is, you know, it has been for a long time, have tried to like hide the fact that they were big time supporters at that time and for some years afterwards. I got double raids. Humanist Report, thank you for the raid. And oh my God, Matt, were you guys all streaming together? Or that was just like that was just a coincidence. Humanist Report, thank you. Matt Binder, thank you. And Surfs TV, thank you very much. Thank you to the triple raid. Oh, that's the leftist mafia. Yes. Word is you're going to be our festival queen in Congress. I said 50,000 subs and I'm going to Congress. Speaking of Hillary, that fucking freak stopped talking to Bill after the Monica Lewinsky stuff. She only called him again to urge him to start bombing. Yeah. She was like, I'll forgive you if you bomb the shit out of civilians. The Majority Report's own Matt Binder, welcome. Yeah, bomb Syria tonight, Queen. It is pronounced Binder. Okay, Matt Binder. My apologies. Anyway, welcome into the trio of Raiders. We are in the last 45 minutes of Fahrenheit 9/11. I started this on Monday, and then of course we had Zelron's great victory. For now, the fight continues, the work continues, and I was like, you know what? This is my third stream today. I said, this is my third stream today, but I have to go live because I just got to finish this. Because I'm a person who'll be like, we'll come back to it. And then 2 years will go by and people will be like, are we ever going to finish that we're going to insert whatever the thing that we need to finish is. Is Cuomo still running, going to hurt Mamdani? I don't know how it works. Well, we don't know if Cuomo's going to run. They are scrambling behind the scenes right now. Bill Ackman is basically just sending out his evil bat signal to see who can beat Zoran, and then they're going to throw all of their support behind them. If Cuomo and Adams were to run, it could pull support from either of them. It could split the vote. So that would be good. I found a good one for Republican versus Democrat quote on Zoran. Do you want to guess? Republican. Wait, do I want to guess like who it is or? Dragon All May, thank you for the 5. Please. Look, I am continuing to stay positive on believing that Zoran will win the general, but I also will implore everyone who lives in New York City to not act as if this election is over. Right? It's like you have to stay vigilant. You have to keep getting the word out. You have to make sure that people go out and vote. Don't get complacent. Don't use the litter box. Thank you for the prime. Okay, let's keep going.
When I say we will lead a coalition of the willing to disarm him if he chooses not to disarm, I mean it.
Who's in that coalition of the willing now?
You will find out who's in the coalition of the willing.
The coalition of the willing. Roll call. The Republic of Palau. The Republic of Costa Rica. The Republic of Iceland.
Of course, none of these countries has an army or, for that matter, weapons. So it looked like we'd be doing most of the invading stuff ourselves. But then there was also
Romania, the kingdom.
Then who's flickering the lights?
Morocco wasn't officially a member of the coalition, but according to one report, they did offer to send 2,000 monkeys to help detonate landmines.
These are men of vision.
The Netherlands.
Yeah, because remember that other, major allies of the United States, including France, refused to join their invasion. And so you had patriotic Americans who went, we're no longer calling French fries, they're now freedom fries. Because fuck France! I ain't calling these fries no French fries. These are freedom fries, brother.
And I'm proud to call them allies.
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan? Oh yeah, they had an army. Our army. I guess that's one way to build a coalition. Just keep invading countries. Yes, with our mighty coalition intact, we were ready.
One could almost say it's the mother of all coalitions.
America. Fortunately, we have an independent media in this country who would tell us the truth.
The rallying around the president, around the flag, and around the troops clearly has begun.
And we're gonna win!
You really have to be with the troops to understand that kind of adrenaline rush that they get.
I just want you to know, I think Navy SEALs rock.
The pictures you're seeing are absolutely phenomenal.
When my country is at war, I want my country to win.
Iraqi opposition has faded in the face of American power.
What you're watching here is truly historic television and journalism.
It was absolutely electrifying. They actually had to strap me in with my...
Tony Blair is the most paid politician ever by the Israel lobby. Yeah, and it's so gross because if you have seen the documentary No Other Land, which won best documentary at the Oscars, and then 3 weeks later, one of the winners, Hamdan Bilal, was lynched by settlers and taken to a military site and beaten. But in that documentary, there's a part where Tony Blair shows up, And Bassel Adra is talking about how when he was a little kid and Tony Blair, so basically the settlers had been causing a lot of issues in Masferiata, which is his village in the West Bank that is occupied. And they had, they had been doing what the settlers do in the West Bank, which is shooting Palestinians, taking their lands, bulldozing their homes, forcing them into caves. And the only reason it temporarily stopped was because Tony Blair took a visit. He took a trip. He visited Masferiata, and it's just like so heart-wrenching to see the Palestinians who lived in Masferiata like breathe a sigh of relief and feel like, oh, finally this is getting attention. Finally somebody with power is like going to do something about this. And so the settlers for a moment backed up, and then they went right back to it, right? And they're still doing that today. And the same like very wealthy Israeli individuals and groups who have helped to fund these settlements also funded politicians like Tony Blair. So, yeah, sick. The U.S. is not alone with freedom fries. God damn it. Stop trying to be the United States.
Camera at the back of the plane.
An awesome synchronized killing machine.
There is an inherent bias in the coverage of the American press in general.
Am I slanted and biased? You damn well bet I am.
And you know what? Some of these same propagandists who cheered on and celebrated the many civilian deaths over in Iraq and Afghanistan, they are still around today. They are still on the news. Maybe they're, maybe they've even been promoted since they were spreading these lies 23 years ago. They've made a lot of money from it. Yeah, it did not, as I said, there are a lot of people who deserved to have faced consequences for the lies that they told, the lies that they helped spread, and the normalization of Islamophobia in this country that they have played a role in. Islamophobia that we see on Maine today after the primary victory of Zoran Mamdani.
But one story the media wasn't covering was the personal story of each and every soldier who was killed in the war. The government would not allow any cameras to show the coffins coming home. That kind of story is a downer, especially when you're getting ready for a party on a boat.
So disgusting.
I can't believe it myself. Suddenly I'm up on top of the world. It should have been somebody else. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me.
My fellow Americans, major combat operations in Iraq have ended. In the Battle of Iraq, the United States and our allies have prevailed.
No, they didn't. Yeah, prevailed in killing maybe up to 1 million Iraqis. All right, these are images of soldiers, blown up soldiers being carried by other soldiers. And yeah, mission accomplished. So the reason, sorry, this is really long. The reason that they did not show on the news soldiers coming home in coffins draped in American flags, that they didn't like, they really can't see. Yeah, that's because I can't show because of TOS. Can't show dead bodies. But the reason that they tried to keep that from the public is because they knew that it was going to lead to people not supporting the war, like not being as excited for the U.S. to like be over in the Middle East, bringing democracy to the people there, liberating them, fighting for our freedoms and for the freedoms of people over there. Yeah, I mean, same Vietnam, every war. It's like it kind of kills the vibe. It kills the patriotism when you see all these dead soldiers, and then you start to ask, like, what is going on here as the year, as time goes on, and you're like, what is
the number of troops?
What's the end game here?
384 U.S. troops have lost their lives. Killed 484 died in the line of duty.
And the thing is too is like the mass casualties of civilians. Like, there is a lot of Islamophobia in this country, but also, Americans are full of contradictions, and people can be Islamophobic, but also not like love spending trillions of dollars to kill civilians. And they'll, a lot of times they'll go, okay, well, it's their government, right? Like, we're going to war against their government. I guess we're not at war against these people. But you look at Palestine, right? You look at the 2 years of the most televised genocide in history. And because of the length and the severity and how documented it is that you cannot escape the images coming out of Palestine, support for Israel has gone down to the lowest it has been in 3 decades. Because even people in this country who are like normally pretty racist probably harbor problematic views towards people in the Middle East, towards, people who are Muslim in this country, might not support Israel. They have an issue with seeing all these dead kids.
631 American
More than
troops
825 troops have been killed in Iraq.
Largest number of American military deaths since Vietnam.
There are some who feel like that if they attack us, that we may decide to leave prematurely. They don't understand what they're talking about if that's the case. Let me finish. There are some who feel like that, the conditions are such that they can attack us there. My answer is bring them on.
I'm just going to take this off for now.
The United States was planning on just walking through here like it was going to be easy and all, but it's not that easy to conquer a country, is it?
The renewed.
And the other thing too is that Americans looked around and they were like, oh, wait, why isn't Canada joining in on the invasion? Like the official invasion. Why isn't France? Like, why isn't Germany? Why isn't Mexico or New Zealand? Why is this being condemned by a lot of leagues and nations around the world? Why is everybody against us? Why does everybody hate us?
Iraq raged for a 4th day today with street clashes in nearly every corner of the country. Iraq could become, quote, another Vietnam.
Officials say they see evidence that Sunni and Shiite extremists might be joining forces.
They're not happy they're occupied. I wouldn't be happy if I were occupied either.
Everybody, here we go. Come on, party people. Throw your hands in the air. Come on, party people.
2 Japanese aid workers and a journalist kidnapped by men calling themselves the Mujahideen Squadrons. They threaten to burn the hostages alive if Japan does not withdraw its troops from Iraq within 3 days.
What's happened? They attacked our convoy. Well, let's make. Come on. Hamill. Thomas.
The Pentagon
If
might
Canada
keep
isn't
up to
joining, you know it's
24,000
bad.
troops
Yeah.
in combat beyond their tour.
I know our numbers in the military have gone down.
Yep.
You know, they talk about retention.
You know, never really expected to be deployed this long. I don't think anybody did.
I don't have any clue as to why we're still in Iraq.
Donald Rumsfeld.
Yeah, and that's what happened is people started asking, what are we doing? Why are we still over there? What have we accomplished? Because all I know is that a lot of people have died. Like soldiers were saying that they were struggling with recruitment. And so they started spending money, right? You saw Marvel and other, major studios in Hollywood that had contracts with the Department of Defense that were like doing military propaganda, that were trying to like get people to enlist. You would watch a commercial for, video games, right? Call of Duty. You would watch a commercial for like Diet Coke or whatever, and it would be a military, propaganda. Most deployments were like 15 months at this time. Yes, and public support for the war when we first invaded, public support was up to 70% because they had engaged in an extensive public campaign where, of course, famously lied about weapons of mass destruction, did a whole, brought out the theatrics, Colin Powell in front of the UN, talked about how, made the connections between Saddam Hussein's regime and Al-Qaeda, and talked about how we need to liberate people in Iraq. And this isn't just, this isn't about just revenge for 9/11. Like, we have to go in there and save these people, blah, blah, blah. And so support was at 70%, and it just kept going down, 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 down.
If I was here, I'd ask him for his resignation.
With the war not going as planned and the military in need of many more troops, where would they find the new recruits?
Military experts say 3 times the 120,000 U.S. troops now deployed would be needed to pacify and rebuild the country.
They would find them all across America, in the places that have
poverty
been
draft.
destroyed by the economy, places where one of the only jobs available was to join the Army, places like my hometown of Flint, Michigan.
And I was watching TV one day, and they showed like some of the buildings and areas that had been hit by bombs and things like that. And while watching, I got to thinking, like, it's parts of Flint that look like that.
Exactly.
And we ain't been in a war.
Look at the neighborhood I live in. Most of them are abandoned. I mean, that's not right. You want to talk about terrorism? Come right here.
Yeah.
President Bush right here. Come right here. He knows about this corner. I emailed him.
At the end of January of '04, the unemployment rate in Flint was actually 17%, but you have to take into consideration as well that when your unemployment runs out, you're no longer counted. I would say that we're probably close to at least 50% not working or underemployed.
Yeah, we know the numbers, okay? We know that Army recruiters disproportionately will visit high schools that are in middle to lower income communities. And same with JROTC, so that's the U.S. Army Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps. Those programs that are across the nation, they are disproportionately in high schools where like the majority of students are eligible for free or reduced lunches because they are lower income. So this is what we call the poverty draft, right? The military forever has viewed poor young people in this country as food for its machine, where, we can get rich off of we can get rich off of preying on the poor in this country. And our politics, our political system keeps them poor. They have no upward, chance for upward mobility. There are very limited economic opportunities. And so we will offer them a chance where it's like, look, let's say you're undocumented. Okay. Let's say your family is undocumented and you are trying to get citizenship. Hey, we'll offer you fast track citizenship. We will offer you relief from having to spend the money to go to college. You will have real prospects here. And it's the pitch that they give to people from, underserved communities, people who do not have a lot of options. Yeah, and now those same immigrants are being detained by ICE. Yes. Soldiers have come back from being deployed and have been arrested and deported by ICE. It is fucking sickening. These systems are all connected. They all work hand in hand to keep people poor, to use them as food for the machine, as fodder for all our military. All our militarism overseas and here in America. And then when we're done with them, we spit them out.
Because being underemployed is just as dangerous. So my family.
Like, I remember at my public high school, I remember the problem kids, okay? Kids who came from broken homes, who just did not have the resources, did not have, just had issues in school. And they were the kids who would get into fights in the high school. They were always in detention, etc. And I remember the military, of course, would have their stupid little fucking tables in the cafeteria. And specifically these kids were the ones who were particularly paid attention to by these recruiters. And I know a handful of them who ended up enlisting because they had no other options, because they were very much so pushed in that direction. It's like you knew the kids who were going to enlist.
Has gone through the welfare system. When it was Job Central in the mid-'80s, I came through the Job Training Partnership program here at Job Central.
ICE forces U.S. Army Purple Heart veteran to deport after taking 2 bullets in combat. Sejong Park miraculously survived being shot in spine, then given 3 weeks to deport to South Korea. Will miss dying mother's funeral. Then his daughter's wedding was legally in the U.S. under deferred action. Purple Heart recipient from Hawaii deported after 48 years in the U.S. Yeah, I read that story. It's horrible. And, we were just talking about the Buffalo Soldiers in the context of Beyonce wearing that shirt and the complicated legacy of the Buffalo Soldiers. And what happened with the Buffalo Soldiers was similar shit, right? Where they were coming out of slavery. Former enslaved persons in this country who had no other opportunities, who had no chance at, they're free, but they weren't free. And so they signed up, they enlisted in these regiments that were made up entirely of black soldiers. And then they went and fought in World War I, and they weren't allowed to fight with the U.S. White Army. And so what the army did was they would send over these factions of black soldiers to their allies, and they would, perform very heroic duties over there and fought on behalf of the U.S. And then they came back and would be lynched. They would face extreme discrimination and violence when these veterans returned home to the United States.
And I went to a secretary school. Years later, I'm the executive assistant to the president of the agency. Interesting. My mother used to tell me all the time that, why do you always go for the underdog? It was because the underdog is who needed me. People that don't have anything, that's who I have to fight for, and that's who I have fought for my entire life. I started taking my children and telling my children, the military is a good option. I can't afford to have you go to college. I cannot pay your way. Financial aid will not help you. So I, as a mother, started teaching my children about the options that the military could do. They would take them around the world. They would see all the things that I, as a mother, could not let them see. It would pay for their education that I, as their mother and their father, could not pay for them.
Military is a good option for kids in Flint.
Military is an excellent option for the people in the city of Flint.
How many of you have a friend or a family member in the service?
Yeah, also remember when George Bush signed No Child Left Behind, what a great piece of legislation. When he signed No Child Left Behind in 2002, one of the things that did was that it allowed, it required that public schools grant military recruiters the same access to secondary school students that were provided to educational institutions that were post-secondary or to prospective employers. So basically they were like, hey, you have other employers who come into these, these schools. And so now you are legally required to allow military recruiters alongside like college recruiters and recruiters for sorry, there's this beeping noise. Recruiters for not just the trades. Yes, thank you. Yes. Trade school. Yes.
Anybody currently serving overseas?
Brother of mine, my cousin.
Yeah,
cousin.
Where's your brother?
Iraq. Germany.
Hung around for free pizza, but was
Cousin
never going to
shipped
join.
off to Iraq like 3 days ago.
Yeah. There's like a Army or Navy recruiter or Marines recruiter up there almost every week.
Yeah.
It's in the lunchroom recruiting students from out the lunchroom.
There are people with a calling. Most serve 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year. Earning money for college. Protecting their community. In the Army National Guard, you can.
I'm going into the Air Force myself. I'm gonna take a year off probably after high school and then just go and make a career. I want to be an aircraft maintenance technician.
I ran into a recruiter and there was something I noticed about it, and this is kind of on another, it was just, I noticed it was odd. It was more like he was hiring me for a job than recruiting me for the Army. It was the way he approached me.
Yeah,
approached
it's
a friend.
so predatory.
It wasn't borders, books, and music. He just came up, it was like he was handing us a business card. He had business cards made for the Army and everything.
Meet Marine Staff Sergeant Dale Cortman and Sergeant Raymond Flower. They are two.
So look, why do you think there's always, when we talk about there's always money for war, but not money for the poor, right? Like instead of money going towards healthcare and education and affordable housing, it goes to the military industrial complex because it's by design. Absolutely. They need to keep people poor so that they can keep using them to fight their wars. Gee, girl, we're never going to finish
Two
this.
of the
I know.
many recruiters assigned to
I know,
Flint,
we're
Michigan.
only 20 minutes in.
They're very busy these days.
From when I started watching
Look
it.
at, he's running away already.
Not Christian, thank you for the 21 months.
What do we got here?
Need a little gangster.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just trying to react hard enough.
They decided not to go to the wealthier Genesee Valley Mall in the suburbs. They have a hard time recruiting young people there. Instead, they went to the other mall.
Let's go in through Mervyn's. In through Mervyn's. And then we can walk straight down.
LFGO, I can finally drink in here.
Gents, you know we're looking at you, right? You guys ever think about joining up?
Thought about going to college and playing basketball.
Okay.
They're
You
like,
good?
no.
Oh yeah, especially basketball.
Good. You can play ball for the Marine Corps as well. You know, travel around the world, getting on the Marine Corps basketball team. David Robinson was in the military as well.
Oh, was
so yeah, you can definitely hook it up. So.
Right now, there's somebody out there who wants to be a Marine but has no idea how to do it.
Where you work at?
I work at
KFC on Dorton Lapeer.
You can hook us up with some deals.
Yes.
They're waiting to get recruited.
I don't know. I was probably gonna try to get a little career in music or something.
Career music. Maybe we can get you a career in music, you know, let the Marines go for it. I'm sure you know who Shaggy is, right?
Oh
Yeah.
my
You
God,
know anything
man.
about him?
Yeah, he the Jamaican.
Yeah? How about a former Marine?
Oh.
Did you know it? You definitely need to know discipline if you're going to get into music.
Yeah, I understand.
Especially discipline with the money.
Oh, yeah, they fucking
When you
lie.
Make a million,
Oh,
you can
yeah.
manage that money. So
All
come
the
in
time.
the office, we can sit down and talk, show you everything we know about the Marines. Sound like a plan?
What do you got going on later this afternoon? How about tomorrow? We say right around 10 o'clock Monday morning.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Okay. You want me to come pick you up? Better to get them when they're ones and twos.
Hey, pal.
And
Staff
work on them that
Sergeant
way.
Portman, How are you? Ladies, you ready to join up? Green hat right behind us.
Ladies,
Looks
we're living in a
young.
world
He's
of
young.
feminism now.
Yeah, we got two over here. Yeah. Right over by the red van. Yeah. You go that way, I go this way. We corner.
Women can serve
You're
their
in the ninth
country
grade.
too.
Yes, sir. Man, you look older than ninth grade, so. Yes, sir. All right, here's my card.
You ever thought about being a Marine, man?
I thought about it. I got a wife and kid now, so.
Okay. Even more reason to join up. What I want to do, ma'am, real quick, is just get some information from you so I can scratch you off my list saying I've already talked to you and you know you're not interested. Is that cool? All right. What's your name? What's your phone number?
Yeah, Irish Defense Forces, very different from the United States.
You know, one would love to have that chance to experience college life, you know, and stuff.
Yeah, like, do you think that they want to go into the military? Listen to them. They're like, yeah, I'd like to go to college. I'd like to have a music career. Like, of course not. No. They are not dreaming of being recruited.
People can do without having the risk of dying in the process, I guess I can say candidly.
Now, I'm not saying you don't have individuals who come from military families who it's been drilled into them since they were born, who have, like, you know, this very strong sense of, no, this is what I was born to do. I didn't want to do it, but I didn't see any other option. Yeah, you're like one of these guys.
Just another night, and the fact that we want to give our guys a little bit time off, a little bit time to relax. However, we are in a combat zone. My soldiers do recognize that fact.
Everybody's
so
a little
mad.
bit nervous about it.
So mad. Makes me so
We're
mad.
professionals. We're going to take care of you. I promise.
Every house here has the right to have weapons. Maximum, one AK-47. We always expect the targets to be armed.
I need water.
Rock and roll.
Fucking bolt cutters. These goddamn things pry doors open. Pop this in there.
You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Why? Santa Claus is coming to town. Gather round. He's making a list, checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town.
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're away.
He knows if you've been bad or good.
So be good for goodness sake.
You better watch out.
Hey, Adele, just hold up.
لا تبكي صحي لنا لا تبكي بس بدنا نسألك صحي لنا
No. Where's she going?
I'll go with her.
Where's she going?
She gonna call him.
She's gonna call him?
Yeah.
No. Just where is he at right now?
Have you seen this? I'll look at it
Is he
after.
in the house? Is he in the house?
Passerelli!
Is he in the house?
Passerelli!
He is in the house. Where? This is him?
Get up there, second floor.
Watch out. Go. Watch out, Adele, watch out.
Hey, one coming up.
That's Sahib Al-Duri.
نعم.
What's your name? Sahib.
This is Suhaib. Yeah. This is Suhaib.
This is Sahib.
Yeah. شو مسوي صاحب يا الله شو مسوي شو مسوي طالب من الجامعة الله بوسي.
Tell them
All right.
to calm down.
You guys moving up to the roof? Wait one.
It will not be long.
I mean, this is terrorizing.
We appreciate your conversation. This is the target.
This is terrorism. This is terrorism. The definition of terrorism, the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. this is terrorism. Putting this fear in civilians so that then they, that then you can just do whatever you want. Like terrorizing a population.
So he about to bring him out.
Breaking into their homes in
As
the
you go
middle
back
of
to
the night,
old
holding them at
saying,
gunpoint.
win the hearts and minds of the people. That's our job. We have to bring the ideal
This has
of democracy
been
and
Palestinians'
freedom to the
reality
country and show them that the American people are not here to rule Iraq.
for decades. This is what ICE does. The intimidation, the fear is a big part of it. Why don't you tell us, God keep you, what did he do?
I start doing evidence turn-in. That process takes about 3 hours, so that's going to be it for the night, and that includes Christmas Eve.
And because Palestinians in occupied Palestinian territories don't have rights, the IOF comes in and just steals them away in the middle of the night, and then they're tried in military courts. Like, you have children being held
Absolutely.
in administrative
I'm extremely
detention.
proud American. I think I'm probably more proud than the average Joe.
With
When I put
no
my
end in
flag out, I
sight.
can't allow it to touch the ground. Because I know the lives that were lost and the blood that was shed so that I could be here and have a flag.
All right, how often do you put the flag out?
Every single day. Every
girl.
single day. I started when my daughter was in Desert Storm. I had the same flag flying on my front porch and the same yellow ribbons, praying and hoping every single day that my child would come home safe and that everybody's child would come home safe.
And she did.
And she did.
You have other family members that have been in the military?
Absolutely. Uncles, aunts, cousins, brothers, father.
It's a very strong military.
Very strong.
Family.
My family is what I consider part of the backbone of America. It's families like mine. And it's not just my family. There's hundreds of families, millions of families out here that this country was founded on their backs. I have been
No. This country was founded on the genocide of Native Americans. This country was founded on the backs of enslaved Africans. This country was built via Chinese immigrants who were then among the first to be discriminated against via immigration policies. Like, no, this country was not founded on the backs of members of the military.
known to be a conservative Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what you consider yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great country.
It's a great country. It's a great country. The cross that I choose to wear, if you notice, it's a multicultural, a multicolor cross. That's because I believe that all God's people come in many colors.
Coexist.
And my family itself is multicultural.
Coexist. Like,
You have a daughter.
how do you break
who
someone
went
out of
into
this
the military,
mindset, right?
Then your firstborn son
into
in
the
the military. That's
How do you
that's quite a
how do you
gift to the
unindoctrinate
country,
them?
Exactly
you know,
right.
from your family.
Exactly right.
So having a son in the army, pretty proud thing.
Oh, you know what? He made it.
What was your reaction to the protesters during, let's say, the Gulf War or Vietnam? Or
I always hated the protesters. I always hated the protesters. It was just a slap in my face. It was just like,
I mean, this is
they
straight
were
up
dishonoring my
brainwashing.
son. And I burned in my soul to tell them, you don't understand. They're not there because they want to be there. But then I came to understand that they weren't protesting the men and the women that were there. They were protesting the concept of the war.
I know I'm a soldier and I'm here to do a job.
Both.
And, been a soldier for a while.
Look,
Once
okay, that's learning. Okay. That's understanding like the war machine, the military industrial complex, right? I mean, also though, protesting soldiers being over there. So, of course, the ultimate blame and responsibility lies within the heart of the empire, with those who profit off of war, who profit from bloodshed, who prey upon desperate people in this country and use them to murder civilians in other countries and enrichen the pocketbooks of like a very small group of people.
You have to go and do your job, and you see the things that you see. I was saying there's some disillusionment in that.
Battalion Commander fully expects us to be attacked in some type of way before we get to Park Shell. I know that so far it's been pretty calm, not much has happened, but be aware that it can and it probably will.
They're beginning to organize themselves just in neighborhoods. The kids get together a lot. Well, I can't say kids, but guys about 17, 18 are starting to come together, and they hate us. Just why, I'm not really sure.
Immoral behavior breeds immoral behavior. When a president commits the immoral act of sending otherwise good kids to war based on a lie, this is what you get.
Hey, is you ticklish? Yes, you do. Don't tell me you don't know what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's giving IDF soldiers having bombed and raided the houses of Palestinians and then dressing in the lingerie of, that belonged to the woman who lived there and then taking photos of it, right? Like making a mockery out of the violence that they have caused.
Why are you touching somebody else? He touches dick.
This is dehumanization.
To have these people shoot at us, kill us, blow us up, whatever means they can, and I don't understand it. We're trying to help these people, and it seems they don't want our help. Get out of here. But the minute something goes wrong with them, oh, why weren't you here? Why didn't you do this? I hate this country.
I mean, you guys, this is straight up brainwashing. This is straight up brainwashing. We're here to help you. We're the good guys. We're the good guys. It's like a movie where these are the bad guys and we're the good guys. So why are you mad at us? Why do you hate us? I fucking hate this country. I mean, I think about the hooded man image, right? Like that is such a lasting image of, that's such a lasting image of the prisoner who was at Abu Ghraib prison. And it was published as the opening photo on the New Yorker in 2004. And like that is a lasting image, really a defining image of this major atrocity.
I feel that a part of your soul is destroyed.
Yeah, this is the photo, if you don't know. This is an Iraqi prisoner who was tortured and, of course, torturing being legal. And even though most of the time the people who were tortured had nothing to do with, say, Al-Qaeda.
And taking another life. And
that's
yeah,
the
that
image they
statement is
allowed
very
to
true.
be public. Yes.
You cannot kill someone without killing a part of yourself.
Yeah.
If you get called up, you go back to Iraq?
No.
You're not?
No.
What repercussions do you face if you don't?
Possible jail time. That's one possible thing.
Are you willing to risk that?
Yes. Yes, I will not let my person, I will not let anyone send me back over there to kill other poor people, especially when they pose no threat to me and my country. I won't do it.
This is an impressive crowd, the haves and the have-mores. Some people call you the elite. I call you my base.
While Bush was busy taking care of his base and professing his love for our troops, he proposed cutting combat soldiers' pay by 33% and assistance to their families by 60%.
Literal demon shit.
He opposed giving veterans $1 billion more in health care benefits, and he supported closing veteran hospitals. He tried to double the prescription drug costs for veterans and opposed full benefits for part-time reservists. And when Staff Sergeant Brett Petrikin from Flint was killed in Iraq on May 26th, the Army sent his last paycheck to his family.
This is crazy.
But they docked him for the last 5 days of the month that he didn't work because he was dead.
They say they're not going to leave any veteran behind, but they're leaving all kinds of veterans behind.
To say that we're forgotten, no, but I know we're not forgotten, but missed, yes. Yes, you know, there's a lot of soldiers that have been missed. You know, they've been skipped over, that didn't get the proper coverage that they deserve.
They have a death toll, but they're not showing the amount of people that's being injured or being amputated because of the injuries, you know.
Like, I still feel like I have hands.
Yeah.
And the pain is like my hands are being crushed in a vice. But they do a lot to help it, and they take a lot of the edge off of it, and it makes it a lot more tolerable. And
I was injured in late April on patrol in Baghdad. A couple of guys come out and ambushed us. I got nerve damage and stuff like that. I've got a lot of pain. I'm constantly in pain. Take a lot of morphine to help with that.
God, this shit is foundational to our homelessness crisis. Yes. Like, we see how we just put these people through the grinder, right? We put them through the grinder, and then inevitably when they, you know, end up homeless, not all of them, but a lot of them, then we look at it as a moral failing, right? Like, as a human being in this world, it should pull you up short to see another human being, like, on the streets without food, without shelter. That is not something that we should normalize in this world, especially not in this country. With as much wealth as we have, nobody should be no one should be treated that way, like resigned to a life like that.
Stuff, doing, you know, just readjusting, getting life back on track. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm not going to do what it is that I did before. I was a Republican for quite a few years, and for some reason they conduct business in a very dishonest way. I'm going to be incredibly active in the Democratic Party down where I live once I get out. So I'm going to definitely do my best to ensure that the Democrats win control.
Iraq, Baghdad, I didn't know anything of those things. And we were in the hallway in the upstairs of our house, and he was crying, and he said that he was really scared and he didn't want to have to go to Iraq. So we were able to have a whole conversation about sometimes some fear is healthy because it keeps our senses about us. And that's when he told me that he had not told anybody else, but he knew he was going to Baghdad. We were, as everybody, we were glued to the TV. Just glued, completely glued to the television in hopes of seeing a glimpse of him. Can't you please go over to where the helicopters are? Can't you please let us see him? Then that night, it was about 10-something. I went upstairs to the bedroom, and I was laying in bed, and I was flipping the channels with the remote. All I heard was Black Hawk Down, South Central Iraq.
What I can tell you at this hour is that last night the Army did indeed lose a Black Hawk helicopter. We are being told by officers on the ground that there were 6 occupants inside the Black Hawk.
So the next morning, I got up and I said, you push those thoughts out of your mind. Okay, Jesus, I need you to come in. I need you, Jesus. You got to help me through this. The Army called me.
I don't know if Jesus is going to do anything.
Asking me, was I Lila Lipscomb? And I said yes. And he said, mother of Sergeant Michael Pedersen. And I remember dropping the telephone. And all I can honestly say that I remember is, ma'am, the United States Army, the Secretary of Defense, regretfully informs you. That's all I know. The grief grabbed me so hard that I literally fell on the floor. And I was alone. I didn't have anybody to pick me up. So I literally crawled over to my desk and was hanging on. And I remember screaming, why does it have to be Michael?
Why did you have to take my son? Why is it my son that you had to take? He didn't do anything. He wasn't a bad guy. He was a good guy. Why did you have to take my son?
I'm a...
And you know who profited from your son's death? Defense contractors like Halliburton. People like Dick Cheney, who was the vice president, one of the architects of the war, sending your son to die. You want to know how much money Halliburton made? Halliburton made $40 billion. $40 billion fucking dollars. Contractors in total made around $140 billion. But Dick Cheney's Halliburton, blood money, literal blood money, made 40 bill. I mean, that was, well, more than that. That was like 10 years.
I can't imagine
10
what it
years
would be
of the
like
war.
to lose a son or a daughter or a husband or a wife, for that matter. And it pains me.
You had his last letter?
And it was mailed March 16th, but I didn't get it until probably a week before he was killed. Hello. Hey, Mama. Well, sorry I haven't been able to call. They took the phone 7 days ago. I got the letter and box. That is so cool.
I'm sorry,
Your first
Essie, though.
grandson came
That's very devastating.
the same day your oldest son did. How is everyone? I'm doing fine. We are just out here in the sand in windstorms, waiting. What in the world is wrong with George? Trying to be like his dad, Bush. He got us out here for nothing whatsoever. I am so furious right now, Mama. I really hope they do not re-elect that fool, honestly. I am in good spirits and I am doing okay. I really miss you guys. Thanks for the Bible and books and candy. I really look forward to letters from you guys. Well, I'll tell all the family hello and that I am doing fine. We don't expect anything to happen anytime soon. I cannot wait to get home and get back to my life. Tell Sputnik congrats, and I'll see my first nephew soon. As soon as I get back to the States. Hope you guys are doing okay. And keep sending the mail. It makes getting through the days easier. Well, I am on my way to bed, so I will write you guys soon. I love and miss all of you guys.
And you know what? Those fools in this country re-elected George Bush. When Michael Moore released this documentary in 2004, he hoped that this would have that this would play a part in political change in this country. And yet come November, people voted for Bush because at that point, the Iraq War was not yet unpopular enough. Like, there wasn't enough disapproval. And unfortunately, this documentary, even though millions of people watched it, it made a shit ton of money. It's one of the most successful documentaries of all time. It did not change the way that people voted.
I want him to be alive. And I can't make him alive. But your flesh just aches. You want your child. It's out of sync. A parent is not supposed to bury their child.
I feel sad for my family because we lost our son. But I really feel sorry for the other families that is losing their kids as we speak. And for what? I don't. That's the, I guess, the sickening part. For what?
You've heard a lot about Halliburton lately. Criticism is okay. We can take it. Criticism is not failure. Our employees are doing a great job. We're feeding the soldiers. We're rebuilding Iraq. Will things go wrong?
Yeah. You're so right that John Kerry, who has multiple Purple Hearts, he was mocked by Republicans. Delegates to the RNC mocked John Kerry's Vietnam War service record and sported bandages, because if there's one thing that Republicans fucking love, it's to wear stupid ass bandages as like making a statement. They wore bandages with small purple hearts on them to mock him. This was in 2004 when Kerry ran against Bush. Insane that they mocked the guy. They mocked the guy who had an actual service record and had Purple Hearts from Vietnam. Like crazy. The Republicans in this country, as they were pushing forward.
Sure they will. It's a war zone. We're serving the troops because of what we know, not who we know.
Well, let me tell you about Halliburton, the company I ran. I'm very proud of what I did at Halliburton. The people of Halliburton are very proud of what they've accomplished.
Evil!
And,
These
I
people should
frankly,
not know any
don't feel any
peace.
need to apologize.
This motherfucker's company made $40 billion. And 20 years later, the Democrats brought him around being like, look at this big tent we have. We love war criminals. We love motherfuckers who should be rotting in prison.
For the way I've spent my time over the last 5 years as the CEO and chairman of a major American corporation. Good.
Yeah, this is also an attempt to divert attention away from the fact they have no energy policy. And as the Secretary of Energy said, we were caught unawares.
Unawares.
In the middle of the
Is he
war,
dead yet? No.
Microsoft, DHL, and other corporations invited Halliburton to a conference to figure out how much money could be made in Iraq.
Billions.
Having worked this effort even since before the invasion, the liberation of Iraq started, you, industry, are definitely a vital part of that effort. We appreciate your interest in this. We need you.
Now, lots of you are small businesses and you're
Dick
struggling.
Cheney PAC.
How do we get piece of this big action? All of you, the big guys, are going to get it, and the rest of us who have subcontracting capability or none at all. USTDA is for you. Once that oil starts flowing and money coming, it's going to be lots of money. It's the second largest reserve of oil in the world. There's no question about how much money is that.
I've been getting complaints from Iraqi firms and from American firms that the lack of transparency, the corruption. I think the profits that American companies are making, the main companies, are so overwhelming. I mean, like when you have a line item for $1 million and you subcontract it out for $50,000 or $60,000 or $70,000, that's a huge profit, and it's the American taxpayer that's going to pay for that.
And it's going to get better. Start building relationships, because it's going to get much better as the oil flows and their budget increase. And the good news is, whatever it costs, the government will pay you.
War is always good for certain companies, I mean, that are in the war, the business of war.
We're very proud of the work we're doing, again, in supporting the U.S. government and the U.S. military. Oh my God. And the real heroes of
Yeah, and now it's all the motherfucking tech companies. It's all big tech. It's Palantir. It's Google. Like all of big tech aligning with the with the Defense Department, aligning with the government, right? Like getting contracts to the tune of billions of dollars.
Campaign, real heroes of the Reconstruction are the men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces, and we're very proud to be any part of that we can in supporting them.
Have you seen the Chappelle Bush skit?
Meals,
Yeah.
supplies,
That's so good.
clean clothing, and communications to our soldiers, so they can be a little closer to home.
It's a girl.
Halliburton, proud to serve our troops.
I just read in the paper Halliburton got another contract.
I love these ladies.
Halliburton got another contract.
That's right.
Which is not being contested at all because nobody knows.
Speak on
well,
it,
it's in the
Grandma.
paper, so somebody knows. But that's after it happens. It's after the fact. It's too late.
Speak
The
on
United
it,
States
grandmas.
is now a major player in the Iraqi oil business. American troops guard the oil fields as Texas oil workers assess their potential.
So it's a safe environment to work in. We don't feel any risk. We feel like we're being well protected here, or we wouldn't be here.
It's no secret. I mean, I make anywhere, I don't know, between $2,000 and $3,000 a month. A Halliburton employee out here driving a bus can make all between $8,000 and $10,000 a month. Explain that one to me. For 40 hours a week, driving the same 2.5 mile route. Go figure. Where's the justification in that?
There's no other single area of the
Yeah, and you want to know how much these executives are making? It's corporate shareholders. Fuck ton more than
world
that.
today with the opportunity for business, new business, similar to the opportunity that's available today in Iraq.
The president went in and did what he did, and we're all supporting him and our troops, and we want to make sure that, the efforts and the lost lives, and it wasn't for no reason.
We want to make sure it wasn't
If it wasn't
in
for the
vain.
oil, then nobody would be there. Nobody would worry about it.
Unfortunately, at least for the near term, we think it's going to be a good situation or a dangerous situation. Good for business, bad for the people.
Today on the news, Rumsfeld was saying, and Wolfowitz was saying, oh, the Iraqi people are much, much better off. Isn't it better that we got rid of Saddam and now the Iraqi people can do what they want to do and really be free? Will they ever be free? No,
Yeah,
they'll
you
not
speak
be free.
on it.
And
You
where
speak
are
on it.
the weapons of mass destruction? It was
We were
duped.
That's
we
right.
were really duped, and these poor people, the young men and women who are being killed there, it's unnecessary.
Yo, that is how I want to be as an old lady, okay? I am not going to get older and suddenly turn into conservative. I am going to be like Grandma Ethel here. I'm going to be calling out the war machine. I'm going to be calling out the crimes of the empire.
That's it.
Spitting facts.
Disgrace.
They died in a just
It's a
cause
disgrace.
for defending freedom, and they will not have died in vain.
Lila had called to tell me that she was coming down from Flint to Washington, D.C. to attend a jobs conference.
Where's a shoe when you need
On
it?
her break, she said she was going to go and pay a visit to the White House.
Let's hope the revolution happens for you at that age.
Who's killed children? Iraqi children.
My son killed.
Kill my people in Spain. Yesterday.
Yes.
These false lies kill people, your children too.
Yes, my
They have only
son.
business to do in Iraq now. And they're killing all these young Americans.
Yes.
For what? For oil. Bush is a terrorist.
No, he isn't. This is all staged.
He's a
Oh,
Bush
shut
of
up.
Iraq. He's the
My
Bush
son.
of Iraq.
Yeah. Where was he killed? You tell me, my son.
Where was
It's
he
not
killed?
a
Bush is the
stage.
Bush of
Where was he
Iraq.
killed? He
Kill
was
my
killed in
people
Karbala.
Spain.
You tell her.
April 2nd is not a stage. My son is dead.
A lot of other people
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what we're fucking saying!
Blame Al-Qaeda.
Blame Al-Qaeda. Blame Hamas.
What'd that woman yell at you?
Well, maybe if Hamas would hand over the terrorists, then we wouldn't have had to kill every man, woman, and child in Palestine.
That I'm supposed to blame the Al-Qaeda. The Al-Qaeda didn't make a decision to send my son to Iraq. Ignorance that we deal with everyday people, because they don't know. People think they know, but you don't know. I thought I knew, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
I need my son. God's tougher than I thought it was gonna be to be here. But it's freeing also, because I finally have a place to put all my pain and all my anger and to release it.
I guess I was tired of seeing people like Lila Lipscomb suffer, especially when, out of the 535 members of Congress, only one had an enlisted son in Iraq. I asked Corporal Henderson of the United States Marine Corps to join me on Capitol Hill to see how many members of Congress we could convince to enlist their children to go to Iraq.
Congressman, I'm Michael Moore.
Hey, Michael, how are you doing?
Good,
I'm
good,
good.
good.
John Tanner.
Hey, nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you.
What y'all doing?
Well, I'm here with Corporal Henderson, United States Marine Corps.
Corporal, I was in the Navy years ago, 1968 to 72. We had Marines guard the base.
You have kids?
Yeah.
If there's any way we can get them to enlist and go over there and help out with the effort. Got all the brochures.
One of them's got 2 children.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, there's not many congressmen that have got kids over there. In fact, only one.
Michael.
You know, so we just thought maybe, you know, you guys should send your kids there first.
This is the shit that Michael Moore, like, kind of made his name on, doing this kind of stuff.
What do you think about that idea?
I don't disagree with it.
Oh, you don't?
You made a
good.
lot
Well, here,
of
take some
enemies.
brochures then. Here, at least take a Marine brochure.
I think, yeah.
And pass it around.
Yeah. Well,
encourage fellow members, that, you know, if they're for the war, to get behind it, you know, and send their own.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Congressman? Michael Moore. How
are you doing?
Good, good. Trying to get
They
members
hate
of
to see
Congress
Michael
to
Moore
get their
coming.
kids to enlist in the Army. And,
Have you
go
watched
over to
Arrested
Iraq.
Development? Yeah.
Congressman? Congressman? Congressman Castle. Congressman Castle. Congressman Doolittle. Michael Moore. I'm wondering if, is there any way to...
Of course, not a single member of Congress wanted to sacrifice their child for the war in Iraq. And who could blame them? Who would want to give up their child? Would you? Would he? I've always been amazed that the very people forced to live in the worst parts of town, go to the worst schools, and who have it the hardest, are always the first to step up to defend that very system. They serve so that we don't have to. They offer to give up their lives so that we can be free. It is, remarkably, their gift to us. And all they ask for in return is that we never send them into harm's way unless it's absolutely necessary. Will they ever trust us again?
He had used weapons. We know where they are. They're in the area around Tikrit and Baghdad and east, west, south, and north.
There is a tie between Iraq and what happened on 9/11.
The struggle can only end with their complete and permanent destruction.
We wage a war to save civilization itself. We did not seek it, but we will fight it, and we will prevail.
George Orwell once wrote that it's not a matter of whether the war is not real or if it is. Victory is not possible. The war is not meant to be won. It is meant to be continuous. A hierarchical society is only possible on the basis of poverty and ignorance. This new version is the past, and no different past can ever have existed. In principle, the war effort is always planned to keep society on the brink of starvation. The war is waged by the ruling group against its own subjects, and its object is not the victory over either Eurasia or East Asia, but to keep the very structure of society intact.
There's an old
Mitch
saying
McConnell.
in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you." If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
For once, we agreed.
Oh my God. Yeah, so you know what? I just want to say as a reminder, as a reminder that George Bush is not a sweet, guy who likes to paint and likes to share candies with Michelle Obama when they're sitting at Joe Biden's inauguration, and that, he and the other past presidents have come together to oppose Donald Trump. No, he's a fucking war criminal. They all are. And, as far as like we have learned nothing, well, I wouldn't say it's that we haven't learned anything. I think that there are plenty of people who, just look at the response, look at the response when the US was like, yeah, we're going to do this shit to Iran. We're going to run things back. And people are exhausted by it because it's been 20 years and their lives haven't improved, and in many ways they feel, have experienced their quality of life going down, and they are being told the same things that they've been told for decades. This is probably one of the best films we've watched. Thank you. Yeah, look, Michael Moore, he's kind of that guy, Again, there are, since then, this documentary is 21 years old. Since then, there have been many documentaries around not just the Iraq War, but of course the invasion of Afghanistan, many of our military invasions in the decades leading up to 9/11, afterwards. So there are absolutely documentaries that go and podcasts and other forms of media that really, really deep dive into all the intricacies, all the things that maybe you thought or that you didn't know. But this coming out when it did and having the impact that it did, unfortunately not on the election, but there were a lot of people who watched this and it made them very angry, and that anger is still there today. I can't hear shit. I hear only... Ow! Can you close my door? Fucking God, I just dropped my phone on my toes. Ow, this hurt. Just close the door. My toes. Oh my God. Could you please just close the door? He is listening to some football video at the loudest volume, and then I dropped my phone on my toes. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. I think I've reached that point where I've streamed for too long. Okay. Well, oh man. I cannot believe how much that hurt. I need to stress all this information was readily available. I was still a teen. I knew everything in this video before it came out, and it was like nobody cared. There were people who cared, but it was just not enough. TrueNon did a great deep dive. Yep. Blowback. Great. You know what the worst thing is about his paintings? He paints post 9/11 war veterans with the objective to honor their courage and sacrifice. Motherfucker, you are responsible for their deaths. Oh my God, I cannot believe how I feel like I broke my toes. Okay, so anyway, that was Fahrenheit 9/11. If that was your first time watching that, whether you were here on Monday or today was your first time, I'm really curious. Please throw a 1 in chat. Yeah, we got a lot of people. That was only the second film to win the Palme d'Or at Cannes Film Festival, which is the highest award given out, and not another documentary has won since then. It was blocked from being nominated for Best Documentary at the Oscars due to some bullshit distribution rule, which it wouldn't have happened today. And I think it's still one of the top 10 grossing documentaries of all time. So it was insanely popular. If I watched it when I was younger, I'd probably be a leftist earlier. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think What was the other one called? I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it's like some French film. But look, I think there's a lot of people who watch that and did not automatically become leftists, right? They didn't connect the dots. They didn't know that there was a political belief system waiting for them. You know, after they watched something like that, after they you know, the anger that they were feeling, needing to put that somewhere, but not knowing where to go with it. And people's individual journeys are not linear, and they're certainly not like you watch one thing, you read one thing, and then boom, overnight you're like anti-imperialist, you're leftist, etc. Some people it is, right? Some people it takes one little spark and then boom, they're totally radicalized. But others, you know, it's a longer journey, especially when maybe you watched that when you were younger and you realized how wrong it was, but it was not necessarily the thing that maybe it kickstarted, right? Maybe it kickstarted your journey towards actual radical left politics. This is the other film, right? Le Monde du Silence. This came out in 1956. It was the first documentary to win the Palme d'Or at Cannes Film Festival. Beep, 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 beep. Liberals used to actually be more anti-war. It certainly sounds that way. It certainly feels that way. And also, if you look at the protests of the 60s, and you're like, what has happened? Renee Rapp's new music video just dropped. If you want to feel something different before ending stream. Yeah, actually, that's perfect. I went from Steven Crowder to Hakeem in like 6 months. That's pretty wild. Like I was never right wing except for when I was in 7th grade, but I wasn't really right wing. I just wanted my best friend's family to like me, and I thought her brothers were really cute, so I voted for George Bush in our school's election. But my family was liberal, so I never was like I'm consuming Steven Crowder or any other right wing chuds, and then ended up where I am. So I'm always like I don't know, like when I look at the journey of right wing, okay, I'm talking Steven Crowder, I'm talking Daily Wire, I'm talking Matt Walsh, like this all the way over to the left, versus like being more in the middle, right? Liberal, and then becoming leftist. Like, I wonder which one is harder, you know? Like, I don't know how the numbers would break down of like people who formerly identified as liberals, then leaving that behind, or like people who did I know there's the whole, there are pics of my dressed as Trump in middle school for Halloween, but I'm a complete leftist now, which confuses my parents. Oh my gosh. They're like, oh, we don't understand. I said I was Republican in middle school because I liked red better than blue. Those were the kinds of decisions we were making in junior high. We were like, honestly, I just like the color better. My family was always right-wing and racist. I don't know how I wound up the way I am. Well, there's the black sheep in the family, you know? Back in 2004, left-wing political media was so fucking hard to find. I remember watching Amy Goodman at like midnight on Democracy Now! That's why like I mean, I didn't watch Democracy Now! Back then, but I think that respect always needs to be put on the names of those who were there in earlier days, right? Where I've seen some people try to do the whole, Amy Goodman. I have seen some psychopaths be like, Amy Goodman is centrist. Even all the way to like Amy Goodman is right wing. I'm like, you know what? Amy Goodman has been doing this longer than you were alive, and she was instrumental for a lot of people in the early 2000s at a time when there were not a lot of options. There were not a lot of people who were doing political analysis and commentary in the way that she was. So put some goddamn respect on Amy Goodman's name on Democracy Now! I didn't know that sentence could be said. I mean, look, I don't like to take terminally online Twitter leftists as representative of like real life, because you have those people right now who are doing the whole like, haha, you guys are celebrating Zoran, and I'm sitting here being like, he's not gonna, he's not a socialist, he's not gonna do any of these things, yada yada yada. I'm like, whose side are you on? Are you paid ops? Like, who are you? Who the fuck are you? And what do you even stand for? What the fuck do you even stand for? You know? Alrighty. William? Let me ask him if he wants to play. Hold on. I'm showering. Play with Jay. New boss way harder in trios than solo. Sup. Okay, we ready?
Take 5, we've been at it all night. Not sorry in the world, I ain't already said. Oh, Christ, getting hard to be nice. Not a single little ghost on your head don't want me dead. Okay, I get it, you wanna be mad. I wish I could take that pretty little face.
I'm so sorry, I'm gonna pee my pants though. This is who we watched earlier on Z-Way. She's so hot. Am I a Callie fan? I feel like I haven't gotten into her yet. You want to know the difference between Renee and a lot of the pop girlies? She can actually fucking sing. Like, that's a Broadway vocalist.
We could have been stupid. Hey, you.
Hey.
Time. You were fucking with my heart. Could have been having sex. You could have been getting all of my time, but you're being mad.
What's the name of this song? Mad. Woohoo! Love it. She is 1000% for the ladies. All we got. Thank you for the 27 months. Are you chill with Caroline Kwan Industrial Complex channels on YouTube, TikTok, etc.? Of course. Yes. Let me just state for the record again. Yes, and then I'm gonna sue you. Just kidding. Yes, all we got, and anybody else who wants to be a part of the Quan Industrial Complex. I'm sorry, you're probably not going to make a lot of money off me, if any, but go for it. All right. If I can help you afford college or whatever else you need, then please go right ahead. What else can I say about that? Did you see Sabrina released a new album cover approved by God? I did see that. I was like, she's making fun of you guys, by the way. Those of you on the internet who put out the opinion pieces. Do you think we can make money by being an anti-Quan grifter?
Our Chill with Carolyn Quan Industrial Complex channels on YouTube
Not that I
etc.
am encouraging this, but you probably could make more money being an anti-Quan grifter. But don't do that, please. We got to support the channel. And to support the channel, you can be a part of the Carolyn Quan Industrial Complex. You can post incredibly base things that I say onto the internet so that more people are introduced. You can support the stream if you have Amazon Prime. You get 1 free Prime sub a month, or like whatever. Don't, but also you can watch the stream and you can support it that way. You can also be a part of what else? What's another way to support? You can rank Caroline #1. Yes, fan art. Love fan art. Absolutely love fan art. If you make fan art, please tag me online. Please, I love to see it. Put it in the Discord. Follow me on Twitter. I did just hit 69,000 followers. Can I get a nice? Can I get a motherfucking nice? 69K. Now I don't want any more followers. Be a chill ass chatter. We like those. Yes. And just remember too, as a member of this community, I'm reflected in you and you are reflected in me. So go forth into this world and be good citizens. Care for one another. Obviously tell racists to fuck off and tell bigots to get lost. But please lead always with empathy and kindness and care. We fight for individuals and we rise up against systems. Also, punch Nazis. I'm not encouraging violence. But once upon a time, if you were a Nazi, you got punched in the face. You didn't get propped up on Twitter, is what I will say. No, I'm not on Blue Sky. No. Okay, you guys. So I am pretty damn tired of streaming because I have streamed 3 times today. I feel like I've been live the whole day. I am going to, I think, do a run of Night Rain. William?
Yes.
Jay? I'm going to send everybody over to you, by the way. So give me a sec.
I'm not live.
No, Jay. I'm going to send it over to Jay.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, of course. All right. Hold on a sec. So you guys, Jay is trying to make partner on Twitch. We have been playing Night Rain with him. He's our homie. So if you want to stick around and watch us try and beat this boss, then I'm going to send you guys to Jay. But I, frankly, am tired of being on camera. I'm tired of being on camera, and I need to lock in. I got to lock in for this run. So I'm going to send y'all over to Jay. Please throw him a follow. Please support him. And I was going to, I thought I was going to stream in the morning, but I really don't know. And tomorrow I have to map out the fundraising stream for Saturday. So if I do not see you tomorrow, just a reminder, Sandwich and I are doing a big fundraising stream for Point of Pride on Saturday. So please show up and support that if you can. And yeah, I think that's all I got for ya. That's it. Take care of yourself, everyone. Enjoy some rest, please. Yes, have a great rest of your night. Again, Will, Jay, and I are going to do a run in Night Rain if you want to stick around and watch this game. And until then, until next time, we'll see you guys later. Peace. Peace and love, y'all.